Okay, so let's go ahead and get this Starscream conversation out of the way. For the Nerve Rage listeners, for the Power Ragers, the
I hate it so much.
the
power bottom ragers.
Yeah, the thing that I want to say is this is going to be a little bit of a unique episode. We have a couple scheduling conflicts coming up. So the good news is you guys won't skip a beat, kind of content-wise. But this episode might seem a little out of sorts, which would be fine. I think everybody will be fine.
When is our episode not out of sorts?
That's fair, but it'll be it'll be out of sort differently.
It has even less format than usual.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this Starscream shit. And before I do this, I also want to say that like the dummies got together for a conversation that was supposed to be about confirmation bias.
Yes.
Instead, it ended up being about MI confirmation bias against Starscream. so just as a fair warning, that whole conversation is coming too, and so forth. So I got drug in a lot of places, which is fine. Like it's not my first rodeo.
I guess it's better than being drugged.
Yeah. So I figured we could talk about it a bit. You had asked me a question up in the kitchen, and then you decide that we can never talk to each other ever.
That's right. We don't communicate except during the show. No. So, Bobby, obviously, I can tell that, and I knew whatever you said about this. Mm-hmm. It seems like any of the mainline Masterpiece stuff that you review, which I guess is all of it, always seems very controversial. Because let's be honest, you've hung your hat and made your fortune on third-party Transformers.
Yes,
which by name alone is polar opposite of the mainline stuff. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I think we know the engineering and the third-party stuff is and the presentation and the quality is sometimes better, and in many cases better than this. And what I'd ask you before is, you got this figure in. It was gifted to you, which was super awesome, by the way. Mm-hmm. Were you at 0 when you got the box, or were you already at a -1, -2, +1?
So I think I always struggle with these conversations because in spite of anything that I say, it's always people believe what they want to believe.
There's a whole song out there called "Spite" if you want more information.
That's true. Actually, I don't know if it's out there anymore, but that is true. However, the good news about my life these days is that everything I do now regarding this stuff is pretty much documented. So I do first impressions now. And the Patreon people...
That's right. I didn't think about that.
...will know the first impressions. So I will tell you, if all cards are on the table, and I'm trying to be as honest about myself as possible, I would say that my feelings towards this when the box was in my hand was a -1. Wow. Just because... Just -1 in terms of like 0 being completely open-minded, 1 being I'm erring on the side of positive, -1 being I'm erring on the side of negative.
Was there any reason for that?
Just because I haven't been overly excited about Takara products in some time, and I thought that there was something about this that looked a little goofy to me.
Oh, like just in the box.
Yeah. Well, in promotional pictures prior to,
is it that it's so tuned?
Yeah, it's the tune, but it's like it's not just any tune, it's the cartoon, not the movie.
Sure,
like the movie proportions are fucking vastly different than the show proportions, but this shit looks like the show.
This is a Sumbo chart,
correct?
Yeah.
So that was my feeling about it. But as any of the Patreon people will know, when I got it out, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty." That's the first thing I said about it. Ooh, that's pretty.
Do you have it on display? I hadn't seen it.
It's
literally
it's just hanging on a shelf in the heap.
The second thing that I said was that feels a little light for how big it is. And the third thing I said was, look at all that sculpted detail in the jet mode. That looks like old school Takara, and the paint is super clean. So, I have documentation.
Yeah, the first hand. Yeah, because
I went from a -1 to a +1.
Yep.
Okay. So that's how I walked into that review. And when we do the dummies, which you guys will hear, it's going up Monday, next Monday. And the only reason why I had to push it to Monday is because we talk about the versus results.
Oh,
that's Saturday. Yeah. So I backed myself into a corner there. So Robert, my friend, supposedly on paper,
Friend of the community.
was gaslighting me that entire show, saying you hated it. You were like, you were like,
are we surprised?
you were like, look how light it is. Look how light it is. So I had to go back and watch the first impressions. I didn't. I was very optimistic about it after the first impressions, and my fear became, fuck. These are $250 a pop, and I'm gonna have to buy all 3. That was my fear.
7.
Probably
7.
8. Probably
True.
9. If
Which they will.
which they will. Sorry, we had technical difficulties and lost a bunch of talk. So I don't remember exactly where we were, but I had a number of people reach out to me for a number of different reasons. Some in a pissed off way in the comments, others in a manner of love and one-on-one. And one of those people was a guy named I'm not gonna, because I don't want to make it. I don't have any. The dude's a fucking Patreon supporter, right? This dude Buck. He said it was a bad review. And that's one of the things I did want to comment on. So, like, if we go through this figure and we talk about it, the very first thing that we have to talk about are the accessories. Now, the way that the null rays plug into the jet, because they want to have it available to not have to unplug them to get them to robot mode, creates an unsightly look for the jet, which is unnecessary. Then, the null rays themselves don't plug into his hands great. They do, but it's not great. And the same goes for the Megatron gun.
Well, and I'll say, Bobby, this thing, we have it here on the table, and it's a beautiful figure. I mean, just looking at it, it's very well done. From I'm not going to transform it. I have no intention.
Right.
You know, just like flipping it around a little bit in the panels. But I will tell you, like, those hands are going to be trash to hold anything. They need to, you know, if the intention is for this character to hold a certain amount of things in its hands, I think they should just have, you know, if you want the fiddly hands where you can shoot a bird finger or whatever,
Right.
include those, and then have a slotted hand or something that can hold.
They're supposed to slot into the hand.
Hand pig.
Oh, I didn't realize there
But
was a
but the tolerances
tolerances
ain't
are
great.
shit.
So
I mean, like, they can do like Gundams where they give you the molded hands for certain poses on top of these articulated hands.
Yeah,
so you can
that's what I'm saying.
test of all worlds.
It isn't like it's brand new
Agreed.
technology. I mean, even like if you look, you know, figure arts and mezcos and most higher end action figures now come with more hands than you will ever use.
right.
How hard is it to add that? You know, even if it doesn't need to be a motion piece. It's a fucking mold, static mold.
Agreed. So here's the thing. The other accessory that we have is the stand, right?
Oh, that stand is stupid.
It's really dumb.
I thought like it should extend or something.
That's what I thought.
If it did, it would be fine.
No problem.
But it doesn't.
And therefore, for robot mode, you either have to have him in an extremely wide A stance because of where it plugs into his back, or he has to be doing a slight bunny hop. So then the other option is, well, then you would just use it for jet mode, which is fine, except once again, the tolerance on it isn't tight enough to hold it, so it just keeps drooping backward.
It just does a nosedive.
So actually, I think, to be fair, honest, and true to myself, I think the nosedive, it does hold. It's the other way.
I know, but I'm saying, like, who wants to pose the fucking
Correct.
jet into a nosedive?
Correct.
It's always upwards, right?
When you're hanging it from the
And
ceiling.
then I don't know if I...
yes,
hang from the ceiling, it'll be fine.
That's true. I don't know if... With the stand.
Yeah, with the stand, upside down.
I don't know if I showed it on the review, but I actually went in and tightened the screws on it. On the stand? On the stand.
Okay.
And it didn't help.
And
No, I saw it.
Okay, good. I kept it in there. And it didn't help. So now the stand sucks.
Yeah.
Right? So now the null rays aren't great. They actually affect the aesthetics of the figure. The gun doesn't fit in his hand properly. The fucking stand sucks. So now that's just at accessories of a figure that I thought I was going to enjoy.
And you didn't, and it didn't have matching effects. That was the other thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is
Instead of having
am I crazy?
No, instead of having 3 different effects, just have one matching pair of effects and then another one.
Of the one straight
of the
blast
one.
that everybody wants.
Because if you want to do a dual blasting pose,
Correct.
Oh, you just have to buy another one.
well, it's going to come with more when you buy the second and
Yeah,
third
the
jet.
second one comes with like 28 of them.
So then let's talk about
Let
the
me see him again if you're done with it.
the aesthetics of the jet mode. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
It is a little bit more lined out detail than I was expecting to see.
Agreed.
It almost is, like you said earlier, reminiscent of like the
Old school
original
Takara.
like MPO2 or whatever it was.
100% agree with you. However, it definitely has that whole body underneath the jet thing, which, to be fair, Make Toys doesn't have. Because Make Toys, the body of the jet extended so that everything could lie more flush against it. That's not to say that I think that the Make Toys is better overall. It's just they did the jet better. But I think the jet's pretty good. Pretty good.
Especially being all painted, it looks.
Yes.
And is everything painted?
So, yes.
I mean, I know you did a review on this. But
Yes. Then we have the transformation. Now I'm going to need to take that back from you.
No, please do.
So the transformation has some interesting things, especially the way that the cockpit fits inside of the other cockpit and all of that. However, it doesn't have the magic, like, smoothness of... I hate to keep pointing it out, but remember the Bumblebee, the original Bumblebee, how, like, the inside hood thing all flip-tabbed? Like, it was, like, one motion and everything, like, pop. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? This doesn't have that. This
It doesn't make that sound?
You got to line and fight and straighten it up and tighten it up and get, like, it's just a little clumsy.
Let's clean it up
Like
off camera.
The design is good. Yeah, the design is good, but it wasn't smooth. Smoothly.
which is not the biggest deal in the world, but just another thing. Okay,
And clean this up off camera means I'm going to cuss for 10 minutes, so I'm not going to record that.
the reason why that we have these ankles, right? Which he's leaning forward now. It's not the worst it's ever been, but like I can tell you when I'm manipulating him, there's a lot of times where he goes forward, especially if the weight at all diverges in the knees to move forward. Then
the ratchet is not strong.
So, but the only reason why there's this gap in the knees that allows the thigh to move forward is so that you can angle the leg forward to do Gerwalk mode.
Yes.
Oh, geez. Well, Bobby,
Robotech.
did you show that in the review?
No. He showed him
I showed a
pictures.
picture
He
of
showed
it.
pictures of it.
I was like, it can do this. So my issue is that you sacrificed structural integrity for a very gimmicky thing that's not even related to the franchise.
Right.
No, not at all. I mean, not even to this figure particularly. It's more Skyfire.
You know what? You know what
Jetfire
there
that
was
does that.
though in either the opening or closing, he transforms like that. Remember, he transforms his upper half standing on his legs, and then he transforms the rest.
Oh, okay.
It's him or one of his brethren.
So then there's that. Then the articulation works across the board. Not really an issue for me. In fact, I think the shoulders are fucking brilliant, and was very vocal about that.
The articulation on the shoulder.
Never
Going
seen.
all the way up, yeah.
Not sure if I've ever seen that done before, where the top hinge is also connected to the outer hinge, so that manipulating the outer hinge also gets you the top hinge. Fucking smart stuff. Like, anyway, and then subjectively, I think the proportions look stupid.
Yeah.
I think the head is too big and the chest area is too small. I would have been okay with a smaller head, like you're looking as constantly like going to a vantage point. Or if everything was just straight on, like everything's in line.
Yeah.
Like I think the Megatron's head isn't like as bulbous. Do you know what I mean? And it might have to do with the shape of the head. So like of my criticisms regarding it, you can say that it doesn't look stupid. You can say that because that's my opinion versus your opinion. But you can't deny anything else I'm saying about it. So where is the hate?
I mean, because they like it or they want to like it and they don't want to see other people not like it.
I wonder how many people that are barking have a dog in the fight. So
that actually
have
has one?
spent $300.
So, and I think that's fair, but I also think there's a fair point if just to play my cards straight down the line, that I think a lot of people that are championing the review also don't have a dog in a fight.
Yeah.
Right? So it goes on both sides there. But like, the thing that I think I find frustrating is that, and it's no disrespect to like the comments or anything, because I'm just saying I don't understand. If you say it's a bad review, I'm
gotta
saying,
give reasons
Correct,
why.
correct.
Like, otherwise, just all you're saying is you don't like it with no valid reason of why you don't like it.
Now, some people have said, and perhaps this is what he meant as well, is that you can tell in the beginning of the video that I don't like it. Now, here's the thing. What you have to understand is that just because it's in the beginning of the video doesn't mean it's in the beginning of me handling it.
I mean, it's already out of the box and on the table.
It's already out of the
You already
box.
fuck with it
It's
a little bit.
already on the table. And if I'm showing how the fucking weapons go into the robot mode, guess what I've already done
already
by that
transformed
point?
it.
You don't
At
shoot
least
that
once.
first.
Correct.
People think you shoot in the order of which is presented. It's not
correct. So at some points, I might seem happier than others because at other points, I've become more familiar with it
Yeah.
than others.
Yeah.
So like some of that is just going to play in. I can try to be more cognizant of that and try to really save my feelings. But when I have a jet and I put it on the stand and it does that, or if I have the robot and he's got to do a bunny hop, I am going to just because of who I am, how I'm wired, I'm going to have a hard time hiding how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to laugh at it because I think it's stupid. Right? And all right, so that's one element of it. The second element of it is you need to the listeners, and I know like unfortunately like the Nerd Rage listeners are probably not the people that I need to be talking to. Do you know how fucking hard it is to say something's not good when it was gifted to you and cost $250?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
publicly.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, especially when you were raised with proper home training and manners as I was.
Right.
Thirdly, and then I can get off this unless you guys have any tidbits. You're not this hard on third party. Negative.
That's not true.
It's not true. The last third party figure that I dealt with that couldn't stand, I gave that motherfucker the business.
What was that? You remember?
Dicka.
Gotcha.
I gave that motherfucker the business. Fans Toys RC. Hips couldn't move.
You didn't even transform that, did you?
No.
I
Not on the
stopped
video?
the video
Yep.
and shitted on Fans Toys for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Where is you're so biased against the car because your love for Fans Toys? Well, where is that energy there? See, my
They don't watch all your either. They don't watch all your videos or they're cherry picking.
correct, dude. I bought Magic Square Prime, then reviewed Transform Element Prime, then reviewed Takara MP44, and said this is the best Masterpiece Prime available. I'm not getting it, but nuts to bolts, this is the best one out there.
Yep.
So where is my anti-Takara talk then? Like, I don't feel like, I think that it's funny because I think that they're accusing me of confirmation bias and I'm accusing them of confirmation bias. They're accusing me of being inconsistent, but I'm accusing them of being inconsistent.
And I mean, you have the evidence to show that you're not like on air, right?
Bobby, all it is what's right in front of you. It's what have you done for me lately? Nobody's digging in the crates looking up old Skullface video. I mean, it'd be great if they would, but they're not going to. And look,
And they're just
there
projecting
may be
anyway.
a positive thing here. If people that you don't recognize are blasting you in the comments, that probably means that video's gotten some traction. And you know what? Thank you for the publicity.
Oh,
right?
well, look, the video. So
Algorithms, it's all
What have
good.
the views been?
that was
like on
that was another and not to pick on Buck. I would love to have you on a call and you and I could talk about it because I'm just using you as an example because I gave a shit about your comment because I give a shit about you. But he said videos like this are making you irrelevant. That was the statement. Now here's the thing. That video outperformed every video on my channel in the last 2 months. Here's the second thing. It got me more subscribers to my channel than any video in the last 2 months. Here's the third thing. It got more money so far than any video of mine in the last, I think, since Unicron.
Wow.
So my argument is that like sometimes people say things because they've got something in the game. They got their feelings in the game, they got whatever, and I understand. But you're wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that any kind of way other than I mean, maybe I'm becoming irrelevant. I don't know. I like it's hard to keep track of those sorts of things.
Your views say you're not.
But like I've never been to who's his name? The little character emoji Imgo. I've never been an Imgo level guy. I've never been hundreds of thousands of views guy. I've never and at the same time I'm not just starting out. My trajectory every time I get on my fucking YouTube, the biggest problem with me is that I don't grow a whole lot. Like when I get on my shit, it's like your views are such and such and such and such. which is about what you do every month. Like it says, like right underneath it. It's like
Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah, it's like they're passive. Let's look. I'll rate it live just because it's funny.
You've got two
told
videos
YouTube to tell
that
you
have
that?
outperformed that aren't like dummies or anything. It's the Unicron stuff and just scrolling back a little bit. What was the other one I just saw? It was something else official.
So I'm up 203 subscribers in the last 20 days, and they gave me a little green light, like things are going.
Congratulations.
Which is 100% because of Starscream, right? Let me see analytics. Your channel got 151,000 views in the last 28 days. Your channel usually gets between 183 views to 225 views in the last 28 days. So my reach down. My engagement up. Audience down.
So you're
revenue up.
It sounds like you're getting quality over quantity to me. It sounds like you're getting people that are engaged.
Your comments and money's going up, even though some of the numbers are going down.
So, like, I don't know. It's hard to keep track of those sorts of things. But all I know is that the video that I get blasted for is the video that's outperforming every video. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't know how to gauge that necessarily.
But you never let that kind of thing dictate what you do. You always do the videos you want to do.
Yeah, it's. I don't even know how most of these tabs work. I don't and I don't even know what a lot of them mean because sometimes I'll check one thing and then I check another thing and it says something and it can change inside of 16 hours. It can change. So I don't. If I was curating my channel to go with views, all I would talk about was fans, toys, and Takara.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. I just looked up, not including dummies. In the last year, I've done 4 videos doing nothing but criticizing fans' toys in their current practices. Mm-hmm. I've never done that to Takara. So, I don't know, man. I don't know how much straighter I can play it, and I don't care.
Yeah, because it's not like that you gave the Starscream a bad review for any other purpose than that was your opinion.
Correct.
So I don't understand the difference. If this was a bad review, then every review you've ever done was bad because you've done it the same fucking way.
And don't get me wrong, there's times where I've fucked up. There's times where I've made a mistake.
I'll say it.
Yeah, and I'll come back on housekeeping or housekeeping. I'll come back on and I'll say it. I'll usually say it. Yeah. I'll be like, look, I fucked up here, or I didn't fuck up here, or whatever. Or you're right, I fucked up there. However, if you look at the final thoughts, it has nothing to do. You know what I mean? I'm like, look, the head doesn't turn. And they're like, you did the feet wrong. I'm like, okay, that's true, but I actually was okay with the feet. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this. The dummies have something coming about it, which is Robert attacking me for 20 minutes or so. But
he's been lacking targets lately.
Yeah, I don't feel I haven't bought a Takara masterpiece since Megatron. But that has not stopped me from praising multiple ones, including Beast Wars figures. Mm-hmm. I've praised the majority of Beast Wars masterpieces, even though I am certainly biased against Beast Wars. I fucking hate it.
You would say you don't like the way it looks subjectively, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. It looks exactly like it's supposed to.
And it's not money because, I can now say, Flex, I've gotten over $1,000 statues and been like, this is a mess.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think I have a bit of an advantage there because I always see money as this whimsical thing. Shit,
and that's why you're not in charge of the budget.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, man, that shit comes and goes. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm in the moment. I'm the guy that's like, oh, we're out. We want food? I'll pay for it. Let's get a couple pizzas. Let's get I don't give a shit about it. So I don't give a shit about my subscriber, not them personally, but about my numbers.
The amount, yeah.
I don't give a shit about the YouTube money. And the only kind of saving grace I have to all this shit where people just drag your name for a fucking week is that Patreon makes me give even less of a fuck about it because now I'm like, man, I got a solid base of people that understand what I'm doing, including those that will criticize me publicly, like Buck, to shout him out. But I know there's no hate there.
Yep.
Like
those people care about you. Obviously, they wouldn't be on your Patreon otherwise.
And get it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm off that. Before we get into Black Widow, I want to go ahead and just because this is topical. Did you watch Bad Batch and Loki this past week?
I watched Loki. I have not watched Bad Batch.
So I can tell you,
I did see someone shows up on there, but I don't even know if that was this week or not.
in many ways, Joe, is the duel of the fates.
Is Bad Batch over now?
I don't think so, because this episode. Let me cook for just a second. Good episode of both.
Oh,
I enjoyed
nice. Wow, what a change!
I enjoyed the Loki episode. I enjoyed the Bad Batch episode.
Okay,
in a duel of the fates. You just never know.
They've been like dragging them.
Yes. Now, I got news for you. This Bad Batch episode is Bad Batch in name only. This was a Diet Rebels episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
it deals 100% with Hera and her backstory.
No wonder it's good.
You see the Bad Batch in it for like a total of 4 minutes, I think, and that 4 minutes irritated me.
Was Omega there?
So yes, she was there, but this is what pissed me off. So the Hera and her crew, she's a kid, but doesn't matter. They come to this like rocky asteroid planet where you can do the dirt and no one can see you, and you're away from the watchful eye of the tyrannical empire. And the Bad Batch meets them there and sells them guns. Right, so that they can begin their uprising on Ryloth. Right,
Nice.
Yeah, very cool. It's this shady deal done under the cover of darkness in space, in an asteroid field, et cetera, et cetera. And Hera's like, "Can I get on the ship and take a look around?" And Omega's like, "Can she?" And they're like, "Oh yeah." What? It's like a drug deal, and you're letting them go look through your car. Like, what are we, like, why? Just make it make sense. Just make it make sense.
Bobby, I just keep in mind that we're getting a Dave Filoni figure, so I just
it.
want you to have a level head about Star Wars and expectations.
It's so funny how Filoni can be so hot and cold to me.
More like baloney.
Like, I love his work on Clone Wars.
Yes.
I love some of the elements that he added into The Mandalorian. But I fucking hate this show. It's fucking atrocious, with the exception of the Diet Rebels episode, which was quite good. And this whole thing about how like this shit was brewing on Ryloth, and there's like bureaucracy and political leaders that like just kind of want to be done with having to fend off armies from the Clone Wars. Just give it to the Empire. Just give him the power. Just let him. It's one thing less thing we got to do, and we're all gonna eat. Don't worry. You know, it's very fucking political. You know what I mean? But it's like. And then the other guy's like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we might be trading in one problem for another. And, like, really good meat and potatoes Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, especially we've been following Ryloth along throughout Clone Wars.
Yes,
that's been doing
exactly.
A lot since the Separatists were in charge. And
Correct.
Shit. Yeah.
Correct. So, like, that was great. Loki was good fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was fun. It also progressed the story. It progressed the world.
We get to see the wizard behind the curtain for the finale.
Yes.
Because it's a very Wizard of Oz vibe for this whole thing now.
But it's the good sauce. It was good sauce in this Loki episode. And like,
good.
Has it made up for the past few episodes?
No.
Okay.
No.
The first one and this one didn't make.
I mean, it definitely helps the average.
So if the ending was good, then I can give it overall.
Yeah.
And it's on a trajectory where it could be.
Yeah, and it's also in a I think an interesting space where it could make the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the next year kind of make a bit more sense and be a little bit more interesting, like all the kind of time dimension stuff that seems like it's exactly. That seems like it's coming.
How many more episodes are there?
Just one more.
Just one more. Oh, okay.
One more Loki, and I think it's 13,000 more Bad Batch episodes that are coming. That's the way it seems. Every minute seems like 13,000 episodes.
They're gonna make. How are you gonna feel if they're gonna match the amount of episodes to Clone Wars for Bad Batch? Will you sit through the whole thing?
Dude, get out of my house. For even putting that into the universe. Good night.
What other numbers? Maybe it's doing great.
Maybe.
But nobody's talking about
don't know
it. No,
what
I don't hear anybody talk about either one of these shows.
We're in a different demographic.
Alligator Loki.
The Alligator Loki popped.
Yeah.
Like we're in the different demographics, perhaps, than what Bad Batch is aimed towards.
Who's it aimed toward? I don't. Is it?
I don't know. I'm so out of touch with what children
I
things
don't,
are.
Children are watching TikTok videos and playing online games.
Oh, perfect. So
And
that's
anime.
all they do.
And anime.
Anime. Sorry.
With the power of anime and God on my side, anything's possible.
All right. And then to transition into Black Widow.
Joe, did you see it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay.
So, let me say this.
And I went in with a -1.
Oh.
Whoa, why? Let's explain why.
I mean, I didn't care.
Oh, okay.
But it's
I always got the impression from our tables here that you were like, it looked like it was good spy movie of action. Good.
I mean, I didn't care.
Oh, okay.
I didn't shit on it. But I was -1 because if we weren't having a movie night with you guys, I would have not watched it maybe indefinitely. Like, it took me how many years to watch Ant-Man? You know,
Right.
Because it was just available. But mostly when I watch Marvel movies, a lot of times, even when I go in at 0 or -1 or even -2, I come out on the positive side, mostly.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I wouldn't watch
Like,
it.
they do things well, man. For entertainment purposes, I'm mostly 99% of the time entertained by Marvel movies.
All right, what do you give it? And look, for the listeners, we're just going to be doing spoilers. It's too challenging to talk about shit anymore. I'm too exhausted to do non-spoiler talk. We try it.
Yeah.
We try it in the next thing that's coming. It's impossible.
Yeah, from now on.
Just know.
We're giving the warning now, so.
Yes.
Watch it, and then
Yes.
why would you listen before you watch it anyway?
Right. Watch and then
I'd give it
out of 5 or 8 or grade.
out of letter grade.
Okay.
B+, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I surprisingly liked it. Like, when I walked out that night, I'm like, I fucking liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't know what a B+ is. I was going to say like either an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw it,
that's
but
there.
I did see it in the theater. I went to the theater and saw it.
wow. How was that?
Yeah.
At the new nice one with
went
the
to-
recliner?
I
and
think he went just for the theater.
Well-
He didn't care what movie was there. After the Fast and Furious movie, he's like,
Right.
let me just go back.
Well, Mason said,
What'd you eat?
Wendy's.
Oh, you didn't get
Mason
a,
and I went. No,
oh, okay.
honestly, it was a time crunch kind of thing, but we went and it was the theater was pretty full, lot fuller than it was for the last movie I saw at an odd time, but it was nice to see that many people in the theater. Bad habits and all, they're back. No, what COVID? What? Where was COVID? Yeah. So
They were just biding their time, bro.
that's all it was. I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't put
8.5 is high.
do what?
8.5 out of 10 is high.
Yeah, yeah.
I
would say it's B+.
I didn't go in with
in that
sure. I didn't go in with any expectations for this because I really didn't. I mean, I'd seen the trailers. I hadn't watched them obsessively. I knew the high points of what was going to happen.
I didn't know anything about this. I didn't watch any trailers.
And it would probably.
Also, but preface this, like,
You watched the first one.
You and me like this.
We talked
He's
about
gonna hate this. Just go ahead. Continue.
That's fine.
Continue.
I'm completely willing to accept that. I've come to the conclusion that Bobby and I have nothing in common as far as what we like in films.
Same. But it's nice to have somebody
not true.
who's
It's not true. It's not true.
who likes
It's not
these
true
fun
for
things
either of
with
you.
me.
It's not
This
true.
nerd shit at
More
least.
false narratives. You guys been hanging out with Robert D.
I think it would be interesting. I think it would be interesting to look at like what they put out for the very first trailer of this back, I don't know, a year and a half ago versus what a trailer that just came out last week looks like to see. Because I don't know how much fiddling that they did with this movie between, when it was supposed to come out 18 months
I mean,
ago.
why
whatever,
would
now.
they? It's just more money to spend, right? After you're done a movie, if you do any more work, you got to pay people to do it. Right?
Yeah, but you know what? If you have unlimited time to work on a project.
But not unlimited money.
Wow.
If you want to make money on something.
I know.
I think it'd be interesting to see the numbers.
Yes.
Especially with a Marvel movie. With,
So-
All
I
we
did
ever
see-
care about now is numbers and everything. What are the numbers?
I did see one thing.
I'm the same way.
but with the combination release from Marvel for their first combination release.
And I might have this backwards, but
I'm sure it came in at number 1.
It was either 60 million from the streaming and 80 million from the box office, or vice versa.
Oh, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean,
Yeah.
in my opinion, in a humble one, or if you watch the Starscream one, perhaps not so humble, 100 million and over opening weekend success.
I mean,
You
depends
can
on how much money you spend on the movie, though,
But
right?
but no, just because it's gonna roll out a certain way. So like, if it's under 100 million, that's when that shit is gonna have a hard time ever.
Climbing,
Yeah, like
Yeah, it was 80 million theatrical, 60 million streaming.
yeah.
Oh, that's-
I mean,
that's good.
that's huge.
That is fucking good.
Especially for a character like her. Do you know what I mean?
People
It's not,
care though. Like we don't not so much.
but it's not Spider-Man. It's
Oh, yeah.
not fucking Batman.
How much
It's
it costs
not-
to make? Can you see, please?
Yeah, hang on, I'll get to that.
Yeah,
in a
she's
second.
not a.
She's not a flagship character. She's
yeah,
not.
but she is A tier now. All the Avengers are.
Yeah, but I would see.
She's like lower tier of the higher tier.
Exactly. So like, but
I'm like the dumb kid in the AP class.
her film shouldn't do better than Captain America.
Yes.
Iron Man.
Yes.
You know, so like I think that's a great success for not only her film but also for Marvel as a whole and Disney Plus. Like that's crazy.
One of those hindsight things you never know is how well would have done a year ago. Would have been better
Yeah.
or worse. you
Yeah.
know?
And how well would it have done, a year ago purely streaming?
This is box office worldwide, and I don't know if that streaming money counts in that, but it's on 158 million
Altogether.
altogether. I mean, it's number 9 for the year.
Oh wait, what did it do domestically?
Let me look. Hang on. Domestically, yearly. Let's see here. This is boxofficemojo.com. If anybody
Dude,
cares.
they are a good resource.
I've been using them for years.
wish-
Even when I was in the film industry.
I wish there was a music equivalent.
I think you can pay for Billboard.
Yeah, that's probably true.
No, seriously. Why is this?
What about
not-
rake these in the weekly top 40s?
Yeah.
Hey,
Who's Casey Kasem?
Casey Kasem, yes,
I
coming at you live. I think they're still around, maybe if they
Tying it
haven't
back
died
to
yet.
Transformers.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Serendipitous.
Did
bro.
you know that Rick Dees recorded the mega hit back in the day, the Disco Duck, where he did the Donald Duck in the background?
I
I
didn't.
did not know that.
I also use Rick Dees, I say Crashbox Custom, all across the fruited plain, and he used to say that as his sign-off on his show. So domestic is 80, international is 78, worldwide is 158, and I don't see anything here that would... No, hang on. Streaming access, but it doesn't give the money.
So yeah, that's going to be interesting just to see how that pays out a bit.
But
But
this is how much it costs to make.
And apparently it's only out domestically and in APAC, so it's still got some release to go.
yeah, for sure. So as far as how I feel about it, let me paint a picture. Okay. In many ways, it's like Mortal Kombat to me,
Oh, really?
but not as bad.
Mortal Kombat was bad. I didn't like it.
I thought you
The new Mortal Kombat?
new Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, the new Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Are you talking about the old Mortal Kombat?
No.
Now you gotta-
No.
Now you got to
Yeah, you're right.
specify
You're right.
nowadays.
Let me tell you why. I loved the first 7 minutes.
Yes.
Loved it.
Beautiful start. I was like, oh, it got me.
Yep, me
Like,
too.
It gripped me.
Loved it.
You're talking about Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Just making sure.
And Black Widow.
Okay.
And then it kind of teeters for me.
You fell asleep at some point.
So I'm gonna let me cook.
I remember the baby said, "Daddy's asleep."
She is the bug. I would never ever rob a bank with my child. She will fucking rat you out in a fucking
That
second.
rat on you. What song is that from?
So
Probably a Dipset song.
I fell asleep. I fell asleep on it. Because I wasn't engaged. I'll be honest. After I woke up, I saw the end bonus scene, and
Well,
I
how
was-
much of it did you sleep through?
Probably the last half.
Then
Like,
how can
no, I'm
you
sorry,
objectively give it a...
I couldn't. I
Okay.
couldn't objectively.
Did you watch it again?
Hold on one second. Let me
Okay.
cook. Let me cook.
All right, I'm just going to stop talking.
So I gave it a 7.5 when I woke up because I was like, I thought it was about a C movie up until I fell asleep. I'm guessing it ended okay. All the sauce was there. That night I watched the last after we went to bed. I watched the ending of it. Fell asleep on it again. Woke up the next morning. Watched the back half of it again. And I've dropped my score to a 6.5,
Which is a D.
a D.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I think it's fine. D's get degrees. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Below average, but you passed.
Correct.
These nuts. Sorry, it was just hanging out there, Bobby. I had to say it.
There's a great spot in Arundel Mills. There's a little hut called These Nuts, and they sell roasted nuts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love the way it makes them all smell.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Do you take notes on the movie?
No. I actually had a good D's nuts joke I was trying to line you guys up with, but I must have deleted it by accident. Because I do want D's nuts jokes to come back. I miss D's nuts jokes. I need D's nuts jokes to like pop for like 6 months and then go away for 6 months.
Like your mama jokes?
I want D's nuts jokes to be like snowbirds. You know what I mean? Like they go away down to Florida in the winter and then they come back in the summer. Somebody got me with with a good one recently, and I'm trying to remember. You know the old classic one, like do you like tapes or CDs? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, so I saw somebody line somebody up with that recently, and the guy tried to outthink him and was like tapes. You know, because nobody says tapes,
right?
And then the dude was like, "Oh, okay, cool. How about you tape this dick to your forehead?"
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Got him.
I don't know if we can say any of that shit anymore.
Oh, that shit was funny though. Anyway, I have a really good funny joke to tell you. Remind me to tell you the funny. I'm gonna write it down here. So let me tell you what my issue is with it.
Funny with one N.
No, the second one's here.
Okay,
it goes into the Y. My handwriting is terrible. Look, I wrote this down, and my wife just picked it up and tried to show people. Like he writes in his own language. I think that she's fine, kind of generally throughout it. I like her sister.
Oh, she's fine. There's no.
So she's lost a little weight, Christopher. She's lost a little weight.
Well,
the sister's thicker.
I know, but she's on the run, man. I think no, I'm serious. I think that plays into it. She ain't gonna be no healthy cakes if she's fucking bebopping around Eastern Europe trying not to get shot.
Well, I feel like she got the cakes back when she was still on the run in Infinity War.
But Infinity War, she came back. She started eating again.
Yeah, but she was thick before she came back.
I don't know. Maybe Steve gave her something to eat.
Maybe.
The Hulk, maybe.
So
like I said, subjective things. I like him leaner.
But aside from that, I like her story generally, and I like her sister. I have some kind of issues that we'll get into with the parents and stuff. Some of that works for me, some of it doesn't. Like the age grouping doesn't quite work for me. I feel like there's not that big of an age gap between them in real life anyway, like between Rachel Weisz and Scarlett Johansson. But like on top of that, it doesn't seem that way even to me visually watching it. I found it distracting because to me, Rachel Weisz, I know people feel a way about her for a number of different reasons, but I think she's fucking beautiful. And she's getting older, of course, but she's still aging well.
She still looks good in that suit.
Correct. But I think, for one, the one thing I needed this movie to do to me to kind of really fulfill me is tie in that dancing shit from the flashback of previous Avengers films where she's talking about her childhood.
Right.
And they don't really do that. My other issues with it is they don't really flesh out the villain, like the suited villain. Then when she has to fight off like 20 Black Widows, like at first that seems like it's going to be cool. And then she just like sort of bracelet shoots them for a while. And then they just grab her and like take turns in this like weird... I don't know if you've ever seen somebody jumped. It doesn't look anything like that. But like they do this weird little like choreographed routine, and then somebody just throws the bomb over, and it just and then it all and it's just like I didn't get satisfaction out of a lot of the action sequences. On top of that, I don't feel like they did enough with Red Guardian, and I feel like Yule deserves a moment of silence for how they did Taskmaster. Like, if this was your favorite...
That was a throwaway.
That was a complete throwaway. Like, it's Taskmaster, I'll be honest, in name only.
I'm not well-versed in... Mostly what I know of Taskmaster was he was a villain in the one of the last Spider-Man cartoons that was out.
He's in the
villain.
comics. He's a villain a lot,
I'm aware of who he is.
He's not necessarily a villain. He's a mercenary. He's more like that guy.
Yeah.
He's actually... fucking... What's his name?
Deathstroke?
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke, yeah, like because like Deadpool was like the joke version of him, and
Right.
Taskmaster was the real version of him
Yeah.
in the Marvel universe, and Deadpool and Taskmaster goes head to head a lot in the
Right. But the way they
have like a banter thing, where
Like, because I was talking, I forget who I was talking to recently. Oh,
But, I do like the original Taskmaster, but I'm not mad about it.
they were like, poor Yule's on Suicide Watch. Like, you know, can you imagine if that was like, if that,
I
like,
sat through fucking Wolverine Origins Deadpool, so
yeah, you had it.
Yeah.
You had
that's
it.
worse, maybe, perhaps.
You had it. You had it. Yeah, like I think if you shoot somebody in the head, like with the gun to the temple,
Yeah.
or you shoot somebody in the head with the gun in the mouth, yields the same results.
Right.
But
So
I think that's a travesty. So like I think that like the story that revolves around her is actually pretty decent. The plot of the film itself, I think, is a little weak, and the characters they bring in for that plot, I think, is a little weak.
So there was no hardly named talent. I mean, the main cast. So Scarlett Johansson, David Harbour, Rachel Weisz. I mean,
The sister's in the movie.
the sisters, but
She was
but
in
she's not a name in the
she's
same
not a
way.
leading actress.
Oh, no, okay.
Like those three people have.
Was that scary white people movie where they go to a cult? I think she was a lead in that. Not Hereditary, but the other one.
Midsummer.
Yeah, wasn't she the lead in that one?
I've never seen
The
it.
fact that we can rattle off the names and we can't rattle off is that's the proof.
I don't know her name
That's
either,
the proof in the pudding.
Yeah. Just saying, there wasn't a lot of people in this movie. If you think about from the size, I mean, there was 150 Black Widows or whatever, and wasn't that many. I think there was 20 of them. Or so.
Right.
But there wasn't like a million characters to keep track of. There was the bad guy whose name eludes me at the moment.
She used to be in things a lot too. I don't know her
Who's
name.
that?
The Taskmaster?
No, but he's talking about the
I'm talking
real
about
villain.
the dude.
Her
Yeah.
dad. Her dad.
And like my issue
but
with
it started with a D. I'm sorry. What?
no, it's just that,
These
like,
nuts.
That's what it was.
is that like we don't know his name. You can't tell me his name,
It's something Eastern European sounding. Has a vowel on the end. I'm pretty sure.
and I can't.
I don't know.
And it's not an attack on you. I can't tell you his name either. And I would be damned if Joe could tell you his name.
Fuck no. I never know people's
Because the
names.
character's not that important.
Yeah.
And they don't do enough with him. And I think he even has that cool line where he's like, I got the one thing that there's an infinite amount of resources of women.
Something like that.
Or unwanted women or something like
Girls.
that. Like girls. Like,
Like
and it's like that shit's scary.
This
like,
had a very.
they could have explored him in
well,
that a bit more.
This had a very strong human trafficking story behind it, which kept coming front of mind to me. I'm like, wow,
this is the funny thing is if they want to do that, this could have been a miniseries of like four to 6 episodes if you tie that in.
Yeah, it might have worked better in that regard because he almost seems like a TV villain to me.
Yeah. So I want to go back to you're talking about action scenes. That car chase was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The car chase. I don't know if you were asleep by then. Taskmaster was driving that like kind of boat
tank?
truck.
Yeah.
And just like I got legit startled a couple times. Like she comes. I think when she's going out to get gas at the beginning for the generator, and
the
you have
fucking
no idea, and
missile
just
came
all of a
out?
sudden, and I like got startled. Well, and then when they were doing the car chase, when Taskmaster comes in the tank thing, and just out of nowhere.
How many Fast and Furiouses would you give it?
So I did comment. I did comment that this may be faster and more furious than any Fast and Furious I've seen.
But I'll say this in regard to the action sequences, which is rarely a make or break thing for me. I did really enjoy the action sequence where they're like running around the rooftops, sliding down the kind of slanted roofs, and then onto that felt very comic booky, but also very grounded to me.
Not superpowered.
Yeah. So like I enjoyed that sequence an awful lot, and it's not like there wasn't plenty of things I did enjoy about it. I just think that like the character piece of this movie works, but the plot of this movie seems a little shallow to me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the story,
it would take more time.
Yeah,
Too.
It
Because
needed.
like they did spend. There's not like a lot of time wasted in this movie. It's a long movie, but they spent a lot of time developing her character and the characters'
Yeah, her
interaction.
family.
So like something had to give. That's what I'm saying. Like, this would have been better as a miniseries where you can
Maybe.
explore the plot more.
Maybe.
Not that the plot is bad. They just didn't have enough of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that they have this air base, but Shield doesn't know that there's an air base,
There's a
and
lot of
Shield
those
has a
type
lot
of-
of.
there's a
shit,
lot of
But I
those
try not
type
to
of-
think about that shit, man.
See, but there's a lot of those type of things that I couldn't help thinking of, like the same way I tied it back to Rachel Weisz being 15 years older than her. Like I was like,
I mean, my mom looked about the same age.
well, okay, that's fair, but you're Asian. We don't
Like
white people, especially white people that live in the cold, Joe. we don't age this. Have you ever seen Vikings?
I mean, listen, she could have legit be 10 years older than her in the story because
she could
have been like if Natasha was 12 and she was 22 because if she was trained when she was fucking 4 years old at 22, she's a fucking weapon.
I agree. I also think that the physicality of those characters don't portray it, and I had to keep reminding myself that it was possible instead of believing that it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. That part didn't bother me.
Like, there were some times where, just because Rachel's so fit and so like young-ish looking, that I was like, I had a hard time from a distance when we were in the TV room, like figuring out who was the sister, who was like silhouetted or whatever, and then I was like, oh, okay. It's just like wasn't clearly, and it's not a big deal for me.
Because like they were in the 50s.
Yeah, so
people are in good shape in the 50s nowadays.
They are.
But
look at the Red Guardian. I believe that. Mm-hmm. I don't believe Rachel Weisz.
But we have Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer has not aged as well.
No, but like in her 50s.
I will tell you.
Let's look up hot 50-year-old woman.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that you can't be hot in 50. I'm saying that like I don't believe the relationship between the opening with the daughter and that mom is the same as that and the mom at the adult stage.
I see.
It was distracting to me. Once again, like Chris said, I did tell myself it is possible because it's not like that's a real kid.
It wasn't immediately.
Yeah, like I had to keep telling myself that because I did find it kept taking me out of it. And it's the same thing with like that shit that the Red Room.
What if I told you
Red Slippers, Red Room?
What if I told you there's a legit 15 years in age difference between those two women?
No, I said that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't. I thought you were saying that's how they were portraying it in the film. I apologize. I misunderstood what you were saying.
Yeah, no. Like
51 to 36.
51 to 36. Yeah, we looked it up.
People have kids in the 15s.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's not normal.
Yeah,
and it's not the way it's portrayed at the beginning.
And it's super established in suburbia, and like it's just like, and like you said, it's possible. I just keep reminding myself that it was possible. It was distracting for me.
Okay,
and it's the same thing with the Red Room, where I was like, man, this whole fucking infrastructure with this fucking jackass, like that, you know what I mean? That has 20 Black Widows.
Well, hang on, let's think this through. At this point, S.H.I.E.L.D. is no more, right? At this point in the story, S.H.I.E.L.D. after Winter Soldier, S.H.I.E.L.D. is pretty much gone. And then you find out it was basically Hydra. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck do you think's paying this guy half the time to do this dirt?
I mean, but I feel like even with...
But they were clouds, that's why.
They were in the cloud.
They were in the clouds.
That's where all fucking data's going.
That's where it's going.
That's
where iCloud is that.
I think I just had a hard time buying into the whole structure of it, like the whole here's this guy that we don't know a whole lot about, and he's got all these Black Widows, and he lives in this cloud room, and I had a hard time buying into the plot, like not the plot, the plot devices.
So I watched one of those Easter egg videos on this, and of course I don't remember this, but you remember in the first Avengers movie when Loki's talking to Natasha and saying, "You're so much red on your ledger." He actually says the name of this man we can't remember.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so it's, they've established that.
Right.
And apparently, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show, no, I'm sorry, Peggy Carter, which I've never seen.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, they talked a lot about the Red Room in that, like back into the 1920s and shit. So there is a little bit of...
Yeah, I'm not saying they pulled it out of their ass.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I had a hard time buying into it.
Okay.
And especially with that dude. Like, he didn't
seem smart enough.
I gotta look his name
and he
up
didn't
now.
seem like established enough. Like, I needed more answers and I needed to know a lot more about him.
You needed Gary Oldman.
Yeah, or that. Then I would just say, I just give him my blessing. Because that's my man, my heterosexual husband. So with that, we're gonna go into kind of a live sit down of people that were here that night, namely Laura, myself, Dante, and Phil
Dracoff, by the way.
Dracoff, dude, certified lover boy, and talk about all the ins and outs of it in terms of our initial reaction, with the fact that I did, at this point when I'm talking about it, I think more highly of it because I haven't seen it all because I fell asleep.
But you don't, I mean, like, you're not shitting on it as hard as I thought. Like, you don't hate this.
No, I don't hate it.
Like, you give it a D, but, like, you did pass it.
Yeah.
And, like, you have a lot of good things to say about it.
Yeah,
I feel
for
like it's not what was presented was bad. You just wanted more.
Correct. Yeah.
So real quick, let's talk about the after credit scene.
Okay.
Because
It makes more sense now after Falcon and Winter Soldier.
But is this the first time that one of the TV series has directly tied a character and a situation in? And listen, that's a fucking bridge between two TV shows that they just showed in the goddamn movie.
Yeah,
Think about that.
Because I don't know if they did shit with S.H.I.E.L.D. and, like you said, Peggy Carter in the past.
And
I don't
also,
know if they did stuff there.
Because
I never watched that shit.
This current generation of Disney Plus TV shows is not the same as the other shows.
No, it's
so
not.
These are like these new shows
yeah.
are like a kind of in between movie because they have movie characters.
And who's that other character? Not Peggy Carter. The brunette, the one that's in the car with Samuel L. Jackson when he gets snapped.
Oh, Maria Hill.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Some of those type of characters might cross and weave in and out. I just don't know. I just don't know. But I mean, obviously, I think it's going to be the most impactful.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously setting up some super team. Something.
Yeah.
So she's got the sister in her pocket, and she's got U.S. Agent.
I think Phil is hoping that it's going to be Thunderbolts.
That sounds yeah.
That was
bad
one
guy,
of the
good guys, or good
things.
guy, bad guys. One or the other.
Well, apparently, it depends on the blowing of the wind. So
Yeah. So we'll go into this real quick.
Oh, Deadpool gonna join that crew. He wasn't in the Thunderbolts.
that's right.
That's true. All right, so we've just seen. Well, most of us have just seen Black Widow. What do you give it out of 10? We'll go around the room. Dante.
Oh shit! Wasn't expecting a score, but I should have. Well, it was a good movie. I just didn't think it was necessary. So let's go with 6. That seems like a good number.
Okay.
This is 7 for me.
I'd say a 7 too. I enjoyed it.
Stop overachieving.
So I'll tell you when I was falling asleep, I remember thinking to myself it was a 7.5 so far.
Well, look at that.
Wow, I didn't think you'd score it higher than any of us.
Maybe I should up it to an 8.
Yeah.
But I didn't see how it ended, so maybe I would drop it back down to 7 or perhaps lower.
I liked it.
I'm sending my notes to you just so I have a point of reference to read them. The notes that I read before I fell asleep. So let's do non-spoilers. Let's do the good. What did you like about it, Dante?
I liked the action. The action was good. The family aspect was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that too. I like the family stuff. Although I have questions about it, but maybe perhaps they're answered. And
You might have missed it during the nap. So
yeah. That Napster over here, you know what I mean? Getting ready for that Metallica show. What about you, Phil?
The same. The action was well done. I liked the people in their roles. I think they were a good cast. And the family aspect was pretty well done.
Yeah. Laura?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed most of it. I'm trying to think, like, specifically stressful thing, not to spoil something.
Yeah, I also like, this isn't going to spoil it, but I liked how they redid Taskmaster. I kind of like that.
So, like, I will tell you, well, I'll save it.
But I like the backstory. I like that little montage in the beginning, though I wanted a little bit more of that. Like, I still thought it was well done, and I loved the cover of the song. Like,
of Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
The beginning of it with the backstory part, I thought was really well done. But I don't know if I feel like it connects as well throughout the movie tonally. Yeah. But the stuff that I thought was good. I liked the Teen Spirit cover as well. I think we should all go on record and say that she's lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the sister's thicker than her now.
Mm-hmm.
I like
her.
I think we should get that out of the way.
Oh. Well, she was pregnant in some of the earlier movies, to be fair. And
not in Iron Man 2.
No.
I don't. This isn't a bad movie for the parts that I saw.
How many times did you fall asleep?
Just once.
but
to
dead,
the end.
But dead, just dead asleep.
Oh, dead
Yeah,
asleep.
to the end.
Wow.
See, but that's part of the problem for me is that like it's got to be good. It's got to be good enough to keep my attention. Like I remember thinking to myself like this was good, and then I remember when the sleepiness was setting in, and I remember saying to myself, "But is it better than getting some sleep?" Nope. And that doesn't mean that it's bad.
Bobby, would you like a popper?
Oh what? Yeah, yeah. Oh boy, would I? Yeah, I don't know. I think that all of the acting was good. Everybody except for Scarlett Johansson did a good Russian accent.
Did she do one at all, or even attempt one?
I don't think so.
No. She just spoke in Russian a few times, but she didn't actually use an accent.
Yeah, which is an issue for me. I don't think she can do it. I think we need to be honest about that too.
Probably not. But
I don't think she can do it. And I think she's a good actress. Like outside of the superhero shit.
yeah, she's
Well, what's
she's
interesting is it sounds like she probably spent more of her early, based on the way they set that up, more of her early childhood years actually in, what is it?
the Red Room.
Well,
Russia?
yes, but
Anywhere but Russia.
Ohio.
no, in Russia, right? And then that young girl, because they had been in Ohio for 3 years, so that girl was what, like 5? So she probably came there, and she sort of would have like learned the language in Ohio
Yeah.
versus Scarlett Johansson would have
English.
probably learned the language. Do you know what I mean? You would think that the
You would think it'd be
Do you under-
reversed.
yes.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
that's a whole lot of words to try
I
to
agree
say
with
that.
you,
Yeah.
but it's not. Do you know what I'm saying? Performance-wise, it's not.
Well,
But
right, no.
they probably also,
Florence.
she probably went back though to, spent more time in Russia and just, got acclimated into that with accents and everything versus Black Widow or Natasha. She more than likely went there and then got out and, upon leaving, just dropped the accent with all the spy and having to go undercover and stuff.
Maybe, but I feel like even like in her like when she was like, even if you did that, I still feel like it's blatantly missing.
Oh, no, yeah, I agree.
Like it seems like a performance issue or a just lack of consistency issue at this point where they were just like, look, just have her speak regular because we've never had her do it and we maybe should have and we
From the
didn't.
beginning, yeah. So just keep it consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think. Like, I think the tone seemed pretty good for the most part. Like, it wasn't super Marvel goofiness.
Yeah, there was a joke. There was a joke or two. Here
There was a
or
joke
there,
where
but it
they were
wasn't.
definitely self-aware.
But it wasn't
Yeah,
like.
but not even like the jokes. I don't even mean joke wise. I just mean like it's shot kind of like seriously.
Yeah, it was shot more like a spy
It's
movie.
than it was like I don't even know if I would say, but maybe. But it didn't seem like just a straight action movie in terms of how it was shot. But that's like I really liked the Red Guardian. I found like his character to be kind of charming and endearing, and I thought he was kind of genuine. Like I think the performances were kind of good. Rachel
Weisz.
Weisz.
Yeah.
Let me see something real quick. We gotta get to the bottom of this too. How old is Rachel Weisz?
She's a couple years older than
51.
Johansson. Yeah. Johansson's what, 40?
How old is Scarlett Johansson? How old is Scarlett Johansson? 36.
Yeah. She's a couple years. She's a
couple years,
younger than us.
15 years.
No, a couple years younger than us. I was thinking ScarJo was almost 40 already, but she's not quite.
Yeah, but that's not her birth parent, right?
Correct.
No.
So, but it still seemed she still seemed young. I had a hard time believing her
As a mother?
as a mother to a child. It didn't make sense to me. Like she would have been older.
Mm-hmm.
She would have looked older. She would have
Yeah.
seemed older. I was like, she's too young. I had a hard time
Weisz, yeah.
buying it.
Okay.
Whereas the the Red Guardian seemed like an old man. He seemed like he could have, even if it wasn't her birth father, it seemed like he could have been in
the
that
appropriate
position.
age.
Yeah. But like it did take me out of it where I made a note to myself.
Okay.
I think. Let me see. How old is Rachel Weisz? Like I made a note to myself because I was like something that's not.
But I mean, I think she was probably 8 there. So, like, say she had her at
Oh,
18
so you
or
think-
19. I don't think she
So
looked
you think she was
crazy
supposed to
young.
be 8? I thought she
So-
was supposed to be like 10 or 11.
I thought she was older.
Yeah, I thought she was. The ages for the kids were supposed
Let's
to be like
say
10 or
she-
11, and then the younger one was supposed to be like 6 or 7.
Because it was 15 years later, the younger one was 6.
Okay.
And then, I assumed that, Scarlett Johansson's character was maybe about 11. But they didn't really give an indicator on her. But they did say Yelena's age.
At
one
the beginning?
point.
Okay.
Yeah, it just seemed she seemed young. She seemed young in comparison to Red Guardian when they were older. Like I think Rachel Weisz is a phenomenal actress.
Yeah.
I also think she was the wrong person for that role at that
Okay.
age.
Okay.
Because she seemed too young.
Well, also, just thinking about it too, and I can't remember if they de-aged her for the younger stuff.
I think they did a little bit, but it's not.
Because
as
she looks
noticeable.
similar.
They may have, but they should have aged her
Yeah.
for the older stuff.
Well, because she looks similar
Yeah.
from younger to older,
Right.
whereas everybody, obviously the kids, and then
David
Red
Harbour.
Guardian.
Yeah, David
Red-
Harbour. They did a good job. With
Yeah,
making him
they
look
did a
young.
great job
Yeah.
with him.
He
But
was
with
also
her,
in
she
prison.
looked like that's true too. But with her, it just looked like
They did some makeup effects in that, maybe a little bit.
They added 2
Yeah.
wrinkles. It was like, you look old enough.
I'm trying to think. I think the tone was pretty good. I think the acting was pretty good. I liked the family stuff. I liked the Teen Spirit cover. I also liked the music at the end, whatever that score was at the credits. Had a very Russian,
The Avengers theme.
but it had no. Was it?
They did it for a heartbeat at the end. I know that's not what you're talking about.
Yeah, it had like a Russian vibe to it. I felt like. Anyway, it seemed all right to me.
I also like Ray Winstone as the what's his name, the bad guy.
Dreykov.
Yeah, Dreykov. I thought he was good. A good pick.
Who was,
Ray Winstone was the bad guy.
but not Taskmaster.
The guy controlling stuff. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Seemed like Harvey Weinstein to me.
I think that's
as
kind of
soon
the
as I
vibe they
saw
were
him, I was
going
like,
for. Yeah.
Harvey, I see you, buddy.
What about the bad?
It's weird because I like the movie. I can't really say there was a lot of bad. I just didn't.
All right, I'll say what it is. It's the right movie at the wrong time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
true.
trying to find the
That's-
words for.
If the fucking movie came out in chronological order,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it would have mattered. No one cares now.
Yeah.
She's dead. We want to know what's next. It feels like in a year where a COVID strand held us back, it seems like something else holding us back from moving on.
Yeah.
Everybody's ready to move on.
Even if this movie came out when it was supposed to come out, it still
wouldn't have been
Yeah,
right.
this should have come out right after Civil War.
Yeah, that I think is the biggest issue. Let me tell you what I wrote down here. Well, I have a question also. Of those insects in the summertime that their ass lights up,
The bioluminescence,
what do you call those things?
I call them lightning bugs.
Okay,
fireflies or lightning bugs. Same
Yeah, I
thing.
call them both fireflies.
so I'm definitely a
bugs.
lightning bug guy.
I've done both.
I call them lightning bugs here in Maryland, but I grew up with them as fireflies.
I wonder
Michigan.
if that is a regional thing. I got to thinking about it during it.
Yeah.
I was like, fireflies. I heard people call them fireflies. I've
Yeah.
never
I knew-
called them fireflies.
I knew fireflies up in Michigan. Yeah.
So if I say fireflies, I'm thinking about them more in like a fairy setting. Like
okay.
that sounds more magical to me. But lightning bugs, if they're in my backyard,
I'm gonna put in fireflies versus lightning bugs. It came up since I put verses. When you see a flashing insect in your backyard, you call it a firefly or a lightning bug. Despite the unique names, lightning bugs and fireflies are actually the exact same thing.
there you go.
However, there is a reason for the different terms, and it all comes down to where you live. Are fireflies different from lightning bugs? Why do they have two different names? The term firefly and lightning bug are the result of distinct regional dialects, and the one you use might actually tell you more about yourself than the insects.
Look, man, I ain't got nothing in common with nobody from Ohio, so they can get that shit out the way now.
Firefly was most popular in the western half of the country, while lightning bug dominated parts of the Midwest, the South, and the Mid-Atlantic.
Okay, that makes sense.
There you go.
Interesting.
The terms were largely interchangeable around that region, including the East Coast and Texas. Two people said they used the term Peeny Wally.
What is
We
that?
can't explain that
two
one.
people?
Two
Why the fuck do they
Two
count?
people. Another researcher later found that using lightning bug is more common in parts of the country where lightning strikes are more frequent. Interesting.
Are there places where lightning doesn't strike?
You could have more thunderstorms in one area, like just the way that the clouds move and shit. You know what I mean? It's like
Arizona.
a pattern.
Southern California, they probably don't have a bunch of thunderstorms and shit.
Yeah.
They don't be getting any kind of rain.
They have earthquakes and shit.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
fucked
we
up
got earthquakes
replacement.
here.
They're living wild.
We got earthquakes right out of Woodlawn.
Yeah, that's true too. I wrote down. It may have seemed cool but like that move where you have the weapon in your hand. All right, we're gonna move to spoilers. I can't do this anymore. I'm too tired tonight. Where you're holding the weapon in one hand and your opponent grabs that hand and that hand is now stuck. So you drop the melee weapon and catch it with the other hand. That's the Game of Thrones move.
Yeah.
It's the Game of Thrones move now. So like, if you've never watched if you haven't seen Game of Thrones,
I know what you're referring to.
it's a big deal in Game of Thrones. So like, to see it now, it's almost like, I don't even know.
So that's not.
It would be like if the character said, "It's over. It's over, Natasha. I have the high ground." Do you know what I mean? Like it's like it would. It's just like they own that shit now. It's theirs. So that seemed weird to me. The Russian accent, we already talked about that. Another thing I did like is they used the big white font. And being as though this kind of takes place right after Civil War, it does feel like it's of that era.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like where they use that in all of the locations in Civil War too. The big white, brick font, Ohio.
The other thing, did I miss this, or did they actually timestamp this so the audience would know that it's right after Civil War?
They do not.
Okay,
and
so
they
you have to use
should've,
context.
and they
'cause
should have.
That's
So
bad for
they
me. Like,
they
me-
made comments, but
Yeah.
they didn't say anything.
So you had to get it from story
solid.
context.
It's all about how they're her and Captain America are on the run.
Yeah,
Correct.
And
that
and
was-
how they locked up the Bug Man, and
Yeah.
they like, it was the stuff like that.
especially considering the extra year they had on this, is like, come on, you
Yeah.
guys
So
could have modified that.
Prior to it coming out, there were notes going around saying it was between the movie came out between Winter Soldier and Civil War, and now after seeing it, you understand. Like, no,
it's definitely
somebody
after Civil
fucked
War.
up.
Yeah. I also had down here why you do the posing while fighting. I hate that. I hate all of that.
The
I
cheesiness.
hate that shit. That's the shit that I want the fuck out of here. And it makes me think about something else. And I hate to do the Marvel DC thing, but like
You will anyway.
I have to. So I have this this girl, this woman, I should say now, at work, and
That could really sound wrong.
there's a woman who I work with, and
They probably want to be called a person.
and her name is Anakin.
them.
And no, she's nice enough, but like it's irrelevant. It's the fact is that I asked. She watches these types of movies from time to time. She watched Game of Thrones. She watches that sort of stuff, but she's not really. She's still a normie through and through. So I asked her if she saw Justice League, and she said, "Well, I watched 15 minutes of it, but it wasn't even funny."
Which version of Justice League?
Snyder Cut. And that, to me, it told me all I kind of need to know. And the whole, like, why you do this, why you do the pose while you're posing, is like...
Did you see her try it too?
Yeah.
Did you see that part?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You saw the sister do it?
Yeah, when
Yeah, I think
she did
so.
an exact replication of Iron Man 2 where Widow first drops in.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
mimicked
I saw her. I feel like I
exactly.
saw her do it there.
No. But she actually
She did
does
it,
it when
in
she
battle.
comes
at the very
out
end
of the ceiling.
in mid-fight.
Yeah,
she does
fuck
it.
all that. Like, it feels like Eminem doing My Bum Is On Your Lips records like 8 years in. Like, you don't have to make fun of yourself anymore. Everybody's there for it. You can have humor and also not make fun of the culture that you've built. I hate that shit. It drives me fucking bonkers. And like I said, 7.5. But that shit gets under my skin. Did she end up taking the vest?
Yeah, at the very
Okay,
end. Yeah.
because she had it in
Yeah.
fucking Infinity War.
Yeah, she had it at the very end. She changed her hair and It was built to match Infinity War.
Here's another little thing that drives me bonkers. Why wouldn't they just have the Marvel Legend as the fucking... It's just like a little thing that would be a big payback to the communities that are
why did they have to have some
involved in this
knockoff figure for the Red Guardian?
Some bullshit fucking... There's a Red Guardian Marvel Legend.
Yeah. Use that figure. That would have been a perfect nod to your audience who's fucking buying your toys.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's no reason they couldn't have got it.
That stuff drives me nuts.
I don't understand.
So when Red Guardian is looking at
He's
the
in the
action
prison.
figure of himself and pressing the button
And he gets the earpiece out of the head.
why not
use the Marvel Legend?
Marvel Legend?
It just
So
doesn't
that
make
people
sense.
that are
right?
actually buying the product would be like, "Oh shit, it's the fucking Marvel Legend."
That's
fucking cool.
would be an awesome nod to your audience.
Yes.
I think maybe for that though is I didn't buy that figure, but no, I didn't get anything from that set. But this one in the movie, it was making noise and lit up. So
they wanted it to see. Well,
and it was bigger. It
Yeah,
was more like
yeah.
a 12-inch toy. Like
Yeah, it was a
something
12-inch,
was
yeah.
stored in it. I don't know.
But I mean,
yeah, they could have worked around.
They
it,
could have
I'm
worked
sure.
around
it.
But
Look, that toy they actually had there was not on shelves.
no,
that was not
it's
existing.
just
They made it
for
for the movie.
Yeah.
That was not a Titan class. whatever.
And then the 50 cal shooting at the helicopter. It's like one of those things where it's like I've watched too many of these war fucking documentaries where I'm like that thing would have ripped that thing to Swiss
Yes.
cheese.
Look, that whole scene was completely outlandish, but it's fine.
Yeah.
The part where she takes him away and I was like, there's no way he outweighs her. The physics of that just can't happen.
Yeah.
Unless, because they've already stated she's not superhuman. So unless she's equivalent to like Tony Stark in armor, she can't do that.
Yeah.
Her shoulders would dislocate in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, like so those are like kind of just the notes that I made during watching it. And I remember when we paused. Well, we didn't pause it. It was a streaming error.
Hey, Doctor Strange's magic came in.
Because we can't
Built-in intermission.
because we
I
can't
can't stay out of these movies, can he?
fucking streaming, dude. Internet technology is great until it doesn't work. Am I right?
I have a curiosity question. What frame rate is your television set at? Because it seems to be the soap opera style.
It is.
Okay, that's why. That's why I think some of the special effects did not look legit to me because they were going too fast a frame rate for what they were intended for. So
I didn't even know we could change the frame rate on the
Yeah,
television.
I'm sure you can
yeah,
at some
you
point.
did.
But
You knew it because we switched it upstairs. We had a long conversation about
Oh,
it.
yeah, I don't like when it looks super
me neither.
real.
It's the same thing
Unless
down. That's
I'm
what it is down
watching,
here.
like-
this is super
If I'm
real,
watching-
and it's
Oh, that is
yes,
super real?
that frame rate is going faster than the special effects were built for.
Never mind.
But
They need to speed up the special effects.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that thing's becoming more and more commonplace. you know?
I just don't have it. I got to get on the phone with Jis and figure out how to fix it.
I thought Manny was your tech guy. No, it's just-
Not for this. Not for. I've different people help me with different things.
So I'm gonna make a video then because I got to sort my shit out too. I got two
Jess, we need
TVs.
your
I'm
help.
trying to figure it out. I'm just like, fuck it.
But yeah, I think it's just really wild. I don't think this movie's bad at all.
No, it's just bad timing.
It's just bad timing.
Yeah.
I just don't care. I just I want to move on to the next thing. I feel like it's holding me back.
I really enjoyed it.
I want it to progress. I want it to go. I feel like the college kid showing up at the high school party.
I mean, that's what this character is, though. Like, we're moving on to the next generation of these characters, and she's, she's part of the old generation, now getting a movie.
And no fault of her own.
No. I mean, I had a friend that was hard-pressed on wanting a Black Widow movie, and at the time, I was like, well, given what's going on, it wouldn't fit. Now, obviously, I was wrong because here's a movie that would have fit perfectly in between those two films, but they're bitching and complaining, saying they should make a Black Widow film. That would be great. And the movie was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint is just that it didn't feel like it was necessary. Just where it's placed at. Otherwise, I enjoyed the entire film, but again, just where it's placed and when it's put out, and not even blaming the year off because of COVID, but period. If this came out last year, it would have still been.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think that year has made all of us even more
Oh yeah,
anxious and
definitely.
chomping at the bit to get to the next thing.
Well, and then the next thing really after this is Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
So and then Eternals. I keep thinking Eternals is coming next, and it's
Shang-Chi
like
September. It's later
Yeah,
in the
but
year.
both of those I'm more excited about, and then Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange early next year.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, I'm really psyched for.
March or
Yeah,
February.
I think it's March or February.
Yeah. So like I'm just ready to move on. I'm ready to move on. I say that saying that what I saw this movie, I'm going to try to watch the rest of it tonight again. But when I realized there was an hour left, I was like, oh my God. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
17.
17. It's like, it's a long movie.
Selena actually, I think Selena really enjoyed it, but when she saw 55 minutes, she had a little, she was like, wait a minute. And then she said to me, well, maybe, and the way I said, sorry, well, maybe it's because of the credits. Maybe they count the credits in that time, and that's why it's so
technically do,
long.
yes.
I know, but it was, she was trying to come up with how maybe it wouldn't feel quite so
Was there a
long.
mid-credits?
No, I was hoping for one, but they only did the end credits.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because usually the mid-credit scene is the good one.
Well,
And the post-credit scene is the kind
Post-credit-
of useless one.
the post-credit scene is the one I was waiting for, so.
And what is Lady Hydra's real name?
It's, oh God.
Let's look it up. Because they call her by name in this
Valencia.
one.
Yeah.
Valencia.
Yeah.
Well, they call her
It's Valentina.
Valentina.
Valentina shit,
Contessa.
They-
Contessa Valentina, something. La.
Because they didn't. I don't think they called her by name in the.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, they did?
She
Yeah, 'cause
makes
she
fun
gave-
of her own movie, her
She
own name.
gives her business card, right?
Yeah, and she makes fun of her own name in Falcon and Winter Soldier. And remember, this was originally supposed to be her debut, not in the show.
Lady Hydra. I'm gonna put in real name.
And she's not necessarily Lady Hydra because they haven't named her that in the comics.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out.
She's bounced around multiple times as
Or Madam Hydra, I guess.
there have been like 5 Madam Hydras in the story. So that's
Yeah,
not necessarily what she is. here.
Ophelia Sarkissian.
Nope, it's not her.
Yeah, I don't know who this. I feel like that's who. I feel like that's who they want you to think she is.
So this character is supposed to be the silver-haired Jim Steranko character from the 60s comics where Nick Fury was her partner, sometimes lover, but she's a fellow spy in S.H.I.E.L.D. And then she's changed allegiances so many times I've lost count. She's been a Hydra. She's been against both. She's been back with S.H.I.E.L.D., back with Fury. She's been Fury's right hand at times. She's all over. It's whatever the writers need her for at the time. Her character is about. And in the comics she's portrayed, she has blue hair in this, but it's actually silver streak in the books. And she usually has go-go boots and some kind of...
I like that actress. That's
it's
Elaine.
Yeah, Elaine from Seinfeld, yeah.
Yeah.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's
Yeah.
phenomenal comedic actress.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
Was she from Colombia?
No.
They shot an episode of Veep in Colombia.
No, they shot a lot of them. I was on the set.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But she
On
had
a
made
model-
some
Remind me to
comments.
tell you how I got on the set, but I was on the set of that
Like,
shit.
did you get ink
and
hammer?
it was very unnerving because I didn't realize I was on the set, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Am I in the White House?"
Is that a mopping gig? Or what?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you got to tell me about that. I'm curious.
Where when I worked at Pandora, when they moved buildings across the street, they used the old building to film. And apparently, she made some comment about Colombia, and someone was like, "Well, bitch, you're from Colombia." Like,
Well,
like-
it looks like she's from New York.
Yeah.
she seems like she's from New York, but like someone made the comment like, "You're from Colombia." I was like, I mean, everybody from Colombia isn't really from fucking Colombia
Right.
at this point.
But
Just
that
like
fucking-
Florida.
Yeah, but yeah, she's a good actress.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know.
I'm curious to see what they're building for between using Yelena and U.S. Agent. What they're going to be. She seems to be building her own covert tactical squad. I assume it's going to be for some version of the Thunderbolts. But
Yeah.
because that's what what's his name's going to be building towards.
That is
Zemo.
Ross.
Zemo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, what do they do about Nick Cage? I mean,
Fury.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Because he's in the Thunderbolts, isn't he?
He was for. I mean, a lot of people have been in the Thunderbolts. For
When
a
I
hot
think of the
for a hot
Thunderbolts,
second.
I think of Luke Cage. Like, No.
I mean, he was maybe a second or third tier character, but Luke Cage has been in almost every team
Yeah.
except for the Fantastic Four. He's never been in that.
Right.
In
Or
X-Men?
X-Men.
Or X-Men, yeah.
And he has been on every team.
But he's been on every other team besides those two.
Yeah. Well, all the other. I mean, it's only those two, and then the Avengers, and then everything else is kind of like Defenders, I guess.
Defenders has been around almost as long as the Avengers
Yeah,
has.
but then after those four,
yeah.
nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the West Coast Avengers or Mississippi
Hey,
Avengers.
man, I collected
Avengers
the West Coast Avengers hard.
We're great. We're a great team, man.
I didn't read them, but I was collecting the fuck out of them.
They were. It always seemed like
That was Stark's team.
it was like Megadeth.
You make me cry, dude. Dude, you make me cry like Mustaine.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not gonna cry as hard as Dave Mustaine did for fucking 30 years. But anyway, yeah, I don't have anything else to offer. I think it's a good movie. I think it's out of place.
I think my ugly is that I didn't like the Disney-fied ending so much.
See,
the main ending.
I didn't see it.
It was very family friendly. We're on spoilers, so everybody survives. It's like, really?
I liked it.
I mean, that's a nice, well-rounded Disney
She
ending
got her
for a movie.
dog.
For a
That
movie
made me so
no,
happy.
but I'm not talking about the post credits. I'm talking about the actual ending of the main film. It was super Disney-fied. I was like, considering how dark this movie should have been,
Yeah,
some of these people should not have survived.
have they done a dark movie?
No, it's a Disney. But considering
I
the
don't
context
think-
of
I
this
don't
film
think
with
you can
mind
say-
control of...
I don't think you can say that's just a Disney thing. I feel like Disney has made darker movies than the Marvel stuff. You know,
the darkest Marvel one might be Infinity War
or Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. Yeah, it was like those two are probably the darkest.
Yeah, I don't think that these movies are dark. I just don't think it's in the DNA. Like I like of the house that Feige just built. It's not part of the formula. They're supposed to be action movies with a little bit of spirit and fun. You know,
Leaving you with the ideal of hope at the end of it, going into the next one, except for Infinity War, which was awesome because they killed it, half the people. It was fucking awesome.
Infinity War that's a special movie.
Mm-hmm.
I get chills every time I watch that ending. I
Dude.
get chills, and then I smile, and I turn the TV off and go to bed.
I watch Endgame until they kill Thanos, and I'm like, and that's the end. And I turn
Yeah,
it. That's the end of the Marvel universe.
As soon as they do that, I say to Sarah, Finn, and then we turn it off. We don't need it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like I said. I think it's good. I think but it's also like my biggest concern, and I don't because the villains are Taskmaster and then this old white guy,
So
right?
Taskmaster's the they
Yeah, they redid Taskmaster to be the daughter. Natasha.
we should not be giving spoilers
The
to you.
Taskmaster is a female.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't actually see the end.
Yeah,
was not
That's
crazy-
why I
crazy
said I
about
like the redo
that.
of Taskmaster because they made it fit the story. The story of who Taskmaster is in the books wouldn't make sense for this.
and also like in my mind, and I haven't read a whole lot with Taskmaster in it, but when I think of Taskmaster, I imagine Taskmaster to be a bit of a chatty patty.
That's like a RoboCop.
No, not really.
It's quiet.
That felt I got Winter Soldier vibes.
I feel
from
like
it,
he's chatty.
you know.
He's
Yeah,
chatty in
right.
the fucking Spider-Man game.
Yeah, that's the Spider-Man game.
I mean, you can say the Spider-Man game is not pretty true to the characters of the Marvel Universe because I feel like it is.
It depends. For the main characters, yes. For the second and third tier characters, no.
I don't know.
No, they've changed what they want for the game and for what
Maybe.
they want new audience to
Should I
like.
Google that? Is Taskmaster chatty?
The chatty patty. Yeah, I put the whole thing in. But yeah, I don't know. I like. I everybody's got like. I'm
Well, you
also.
should watch it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to watch it tonight.
It was a good reveal.
And then but about my concern was that they were getting ready to make
We just got so meta with we said spoilers and then Bobby's the one we're spoiling.
yeah. But I don't
This is
care.
the metacast.
I'll be honest with you, I don't care. Like I don't care about being spoiled because like my investment in this is like, it's whatever. There was a point where I was like, oh no. Oh, when they were gonna cut her sister's head open.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, if they make her some sort of bad Black Widow, and this becomes another fucking Marvel, like the good Iron Man versus the bad Iron Man, the good Hulk versus the bad Hulk, the good Ant-Man versus the bad Ant-Man, the good Black Panther versus the bad Black Panther,
Yeah.
the good Captain America versus the bad Black.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I thought they might do that early on. I was like, man, I hope they don't do that.
but I guess it kind of is.
I mean, with the crew of the Widows, I mean, essentially,
Yeah, she had to fight them all.
Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you didn't see
Yeah.
the fight where she had to fight off like 20 Black Widows at the same time.
Yeah, I guess I'll go watch this thing. I'll come
Bob's gonna do a private cast afterwards. This is what I really thought.
I mean, even like I hate to say it, man, but like, how much spectacle can you be exposed to? I feel like it's like heroin or something. Where like after seeing Infinity,
Weird comparison.
but let me cook. After like seeing Infinity War, Endgame, Snyder Cut. I mean, even Episode 9. How much spectacle can you give me, and then you don't keep re-upping my dose and expect me to be wowed?
yeah.
You know, like I feel like you gotta shoot so much of this shit into my veins now to get me that high, because you've given me these max doses. And with the frequency that these films come out, even with the year break, it's like there's things about this that would have wowed me 5 years ago that don't wow me anymore. And it's no fault of this film. It's just I have
where your
a
expectation
tolerance. I have
levels
a
are,
high
yeah.
tolerance
Yeah.
now.
Is that why you don't like the shows as much either, or is that
I think that's a totally different
Okay.
thing. I just think I don't like shows.
okay?
I think
that's fair.
I think that shows have to be phenomenal. Like they have to be like when people think of when people start saying like these are the best TV series ever made, usually those are the ones I've seen.
Yeah.
But they're never mentioning Daredevil and the best series. You know what I mean? Like Sopranos.
Oh, I enjoyed Daredevil.
That's not the question. Sopranos, The Wire, Oz, Sex and the City, Breaking
Everything
Bad,
from HBO.
Breaking Bad. like I've enjoyed all of those. You know, Game of Thrones.
Did you watch the Hannibal show?
No, but that's not in that conversation.
I don't even know if there was a Hannibal show.
I watched the first episode and it was fine. It's just not
very well done.
It's just not good enough.
What was that on?
It was on NBC. It's the best broadcast show I've ever seen. That's on broadcast television.
I have a weird obsession with that. I might have to try that at some point.
Yeah,
It lasted 3 seasons before they got axed.
I watched an episode
That's
of
where,
it.
they
that's
did-
where they start to lose me.
and they
I have
did-
a really hard
no.
time with the commitments. It's books too.
They did have a
I have a hard time
well.
staying
Jana,
committed.
who does Jana take after? She
Not
read
me.
the. Wow.
I'm not a reader.
No.
And yet, she read Moby Dick, and you guys are her parents.
Yeah,
This
man.
is bizarre.
Fuck a book.
Yeah,
Check out movies.
you're a reader. You were at
I
one
was,
point
but
anyway.
I can't do it now. I read 5 pages and it's Goodnight Moon. I can't do it anymore.
You can't do movies. You
Yeah,
can't
well, I can do a movie, and I can do a movie if it's phenomenal.
Man. We can't give you pizza before the movie.
Yeah, belly
Belly full of warm pizza is always dangerous. So
gotta get-
let me tell the
Be laced
backstory.
with cocaine.
Let me tell the backstory of that. I had a friend of mine. This is a terrible thing to joke about.
Yeah, I don't even know if
Yeah,
you
all
should
right,
share
all
it.
right, all right.
I forget where the fuck else I was.
You're telling the difference between shows, how good HBO is.
Well, yeah, in Breaking Bad. But like when people mention like the best TV series of all time, those are the names they go to. Those are the huge award-winning shows, like highly renowned. Like that was it. And like if it's not that, for me, the cost of entry for me to donate that much time to something, it's.
He won't watch Mayor of Easttown, and that is phenomenal.
I mean,
Wait, is that the?
And it's only 7 episodes.
yeah, I'll try.
I can't even pronounce what you just said.
Wait, is
so-
that the one you were telling me about with what's her name? The blonde.
Kate
Yeah,
Winslet.
Yeah, Winslet. Okay.
Mayor. It's Mayor, short for Marianne of
What's it about?
Easttown.
She's a detective, right?
I
Already,
know,
Bobby's
I know.
Bobby. That side right
But
there,
it's
Bobby's already
not-
checked out.
It's not what you think
I just
it
see
is.
so many of these shows. What was that other thing? It was so good. We had to watch it. Super. Everybody says it's great, and it was so good until the end, and it was fucking dumb. And I wasted fucking 13 hours of my life. Matthew McConaughey was in it. He was a
True
detective.
Detective.
Oh,
Yeah.
True
I
Detective.
think I liked that.
No.
I heard the first season was great. The second season was
First
not.
season's not great. I mean, the first season was great until the final episode, and then it was dumb.
He woke up.
Something in like a garden at the end.
It was a maze. It was like like this guy was like running around the maze.
Oh,
like,
so wasn't
stop
this
it,
be The Shining?
Yeah, I mean, ish, but nowhere near as interesting. I don't know. I don't want to be a bummer. I think because I think this movie's good.
Yeah,
I just,
like what is good. It's just bad timing.
Bad timing.
Should have been when Civil War came out.
If it came out after Civil War, I think it would have done nothing but feed the beast.
Yep.
But the beast has been fed at this point.
I think also kind of going back to what you're saying about the spectacle thing, like with a lot of these Titans, the series, for instance, when they went with Trigon as the big bad, it's like, where do you go from there? But I think when you're doing something like that, like a season like that, or even with the MCU, you're like, we need to grab these people's attentions and give them a big bad. But then once you give them the big bad, it's like, oh shit, we made so much off of that. We got to keep feeding them. Then it's like, well, where do you go from there? Mm-hmm. And I think right now, like the evolution of the characters is like, okay, let's do these shows and kind of like spoon feed them little doses, of whatever it is, and distract them, make them forget about the big bad. But the whole time, everybody's talking about, who's the next big villain? Are we getting Galactus? Are we getting Kang? When are we getting X-Men? And, in the background, I think that's what they're trying to build. But what they gave us with Infinity War and even Endgame, it's like, you're not going to be able to match that, like not to the level that they did.
I agree with you, but I think we also have to say in the same breath, if we think for one moment that we're not getting these shows because Disney Plus had a streaming service coming that needed content for the streaming service, we're fooling ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
without that,
there's
these
only one
shows
reason.
Would not even,
there's only one reason why we're getting the shows.
I think it goes hand in hand because
Hawkeye
again, you got people like
I think
I
think they used the assignment to better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the assignment was, look, the streaming service is coming. We want this many Marvel series for you. Figure it out.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, again, it goes hand in hand. Though it's like, okay, we got the streaming service coming up. We got to put content on it, and it's like, well, look, we got a bunch of actors who they're probably not done with this shit yet because I mean. Chris Hemsworth. Well, I mean, he's got a movie, But again, these other side characters.
He's doing Ghostbusters 2, I think.
Outstanding. Can't wait. When I signed up for Movies Anywhere, they gave me 3 free movies, and the last Ghostbusters was one of those movies. I tried to watch it. I got through 10 and just gave up.
With the girls.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth was the best part of that movie. For me,
I didn't see it. Did you see it?
Yeah, we saw it.
Oh, I did see it.
I'll go back and try it.
It was awful.
Did I see it?
It was
really?
awful. Yeah, it was awful. When we gave it a fair shake, but it was really bad. However, I don't think this other one's going to be any better. I'll be honest with you. Maybe it will be better, but I don't think it'll be good.
This is when they're old. Are they old now?
Well, this is them. The old ones the old remaining Ghostbusters bringing in the new generation.
Oh, the recruits.
Yeah,
but
the new kids.
not.
It's kids. It's going to be Egon's kid, since Egon's no longer alive.
Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, I hate to sound like I didn't like it because I did. I just
you gave 7.5.
I'm just not. It's just not exciting to me. It's like I've seen better, and I've seen worse. It's been cool. It's been fun. Sometimes it's been boring. You know what I mean?
I enjoyed it a lot. I'm glad I got to see it, and
I
I think I think the kids enjoyed it a lot too.
It was definitely a fun movie. Like, I mean, it did what it needed to do. It gave you action.
I feel it was even more than fun movie, though. Sometimes I'm like, all right, well, that was a fun romp. But
no, I'm not saying it in that context. I'm saying it's a movie that if I'm watching it, I'm glued to the screen. I want to see what's coming next. Versus Captain Marvel. That's one of the films that I just no matter how many times I try to watch it, I just don't care because I think that was just a movie they just said. Just fucking throw it out there, make it happen.
I think they needed to establish her for
yeah.
Much.
Well, and that's what that was.
I was going to ask. I mean, my memory isn't great, but so this is the only other female character movie, right? Other than Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I feel like us girls, we needed this.
So
we
someone,
I mean, maybe. I mean, but there's not a whole. I mean, like the truth of the matter is
they're doing a She-Hulk show next year.
Ms.
Marvel doesn't have the strong.
This year.
Marvel doesn't have the strong female cast.
No, I mean,
they really don't.
They could have movie wise built
Character-wise,
Captain Marvel because in the comics, she is.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when you think about, like, Marvel characters, I guarantee you it takes you a while to get to the female ones.
Oh, as far as your favorites?
Yeah, and just iconic, just big-name Marvel characters. Is Spider-Man. It used to be just Spider-Man and Wolverine, but now it's Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk. Like the list goes on and on, but it takes a while before you start, oh, yeah, and her.
I mean,
and her.
Like, if I'd go to X-Men characters. I mean, Storm and
Yeah,
Rogue
but
would be...
that's only because you're a comic book fan.
Yeah,
No,
if you're
no,
if you're
no,
not
true.
if you're not
That's
a
what.
fan,
That's my
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Is that like they don't have the female roster
No.
that other competitors have, and to have
Well, who does DC have besides Wonder Woman that the normies would know?
Harley, Batgirl, like I mean, like
No, Batgirl I would not put on that list.
that
I would
that
say
people that people know who she is.
Yes.
Yeah, I think-
Harley and
You don't think
Wonder
people know
Woman.
who Batgirl is?
I'm not saying
If we went back in time 5 years ago and I put a picture of Batgirl next to a picture of Captain Marvel, you think that more would know who Captain Marvel was?
Are you saying the Adam West version of Batgirl?
I'm saying a picture of Batgirl.
Yeah, Batgirl's Batgirl.
Okay.
A picture of a woman with a cape that had bat circles cut out of it with 2 bat ears and a bat belt and a bat symbol on her chest.
That's not the same as knowing the character from content.
But to be able to say Batgirl and say no fucking clue matters. Nobody knows who Captain Marvel is 5 years ago.
Okay.
Do you think that's a lie?
No. Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
I don't think...
I don't think
I
it's
think
the
you'd
full
be-
truth either, but I think it's somewhere and there's a gray zone there.
I mean, do you know any normal person, like any non-comic book fan that had any fucking idea who Captain Marvel was?
Maybe.
I know, I'm asking you.
Before the
Before the movie.
yeah, no one knew who
No
the
one.
Captain Marvel was.
Comic book readers knew who she was.
They wouldn't have a
toy
reason
collectors.
to know who Captain
But
Marvel was.
she was
though.
never in the cartoon. She was never in any media outside of the...
I thought she was in several cartoons.
So there, yeah, she is in a few cartoons.
like going back into the 90s.
I don't know.
I thought she was.
No.
I don't know.
Because I've
No,
seen
no,
her
no.
in multiple things, I'm pretty sure.
there are a few things on Disney Plus.
That-
I don't know.
Right before the movie came out.
I mean,
but think
youngest.
that was
I mean, what is
establishing
it? The Avengers cartoon where Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I mean, they try to throw everybody.
Yeah, she was in that.
But if she wasn't, she was never a character. She was like in for an episode or something. Like
I'd have to go back and watch it.
fucking who's the Morlock fucking lady?
Callisto.
Yeah, like she was in a couple episodes, but nobody has any fucking
Yeah,
idea. who
Captain
she-
Marvel was back in the X-Men series too, as well. Wasn't
was
she?
Ms.
Back in the
Marvel.
90s?
That's
the other one.
Yeah, she was Ms. Marvel. It was Carol Danvers, but
It's
she
still
was called
Danvers,
Ms.
right?
Yeah,
Marvel.
but it was
Okay.
Miss Marvel. It wasn't Captain Marvel.
Even with that, people aren't going to really connect that because I
Okay.
mean, she was
Hell
only
no.
in one episode.
Dude, nobody knew who she was. I mean, like, it's like Rocket and Groot and shit. Like, it's in that pocket. Like, nobody knew who those characters are. They're all... I don't even know if Captain Marvel's as well known now, but they're all better known now. But, I mean, like, people know Catwoman.
What about Elektra? Elektra's been popular since
No.
she had her own movie ages ago.
She did.
And she was in Daredevil.
I don't
She
think
was.
a lot of people would connect that though. 'cause
Yeah,
that's the
even
thing
when
is,
that
like, people
came
don't-
out, people didn't even put that together. That that's a Marvel or that's a comic book movie. I remember hearing that a lot.
Gotcha.
I don't even know if there was people that watched Daredevil that realized it's the same character.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, people that
Oh,
that had
Daredevil
no
the show.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, like, I think that they just don't have a strong female roster, and they haven't really established them in the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all.
Okay.
I
right?
think they
Like-
do have a good roster. It's just that
Most of them are X-Men.
But the thing, most are X Men. But the thing is,
Most of Marvel's strong female characters are X-Men.
they
Or
hadn't
popular.
really done a good job in the earlier years establishing them until much later when Marvel started really making that push to put forward their female characters, like in the mid 2000s. Then they started that's when they propped Ms. Marvel up into Captain Marvel, and then they had the Inhuman Ms. Marvel. Then they started really pushing that narrative. But before that point.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no fucking clue who Miss Marvel was reading Marvel comics growing up until they put her in that sexy ass black costume.
I mean,
And then I was like, "Who's this?"
There's no reason to.
And that's just keeping it a bean.
No, well, but again, that's the thing though. It's like, all of those characters though too. There's something on Disney Plus on that one thing that had like the Japanese Spider-Man. I think episode 2 or 3.
Oh yeah,
the
616.
Yeah, the 616. They are talking about this though, like with the female characters and the uprise of them and bringing them up, and that push didn't like really get established until the mid 2000s, and even still, it's at this point. I don't want to say it's too late, but it's like
that's where they changed Danvers' costume finally.
I mean, ironically, I think the Squirrel Girl is probably one of their more popular.
Yeah, with the younger people, definitely.
Yeah,
Squirrel Girl and Ms. Marvel are definitely popular with the young kids.
But that Miss Marvel is like the other one, though. I feel like the
young Indian,
the lanky one.
Yeah. The one who can stretch like
long,
Richards.
Old long arms, what they call it.
I mean, Spider-Gwen's another one that
falls
into that pocket.
Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
Out of those three, Spider-Gwen's my favorite, but I'm a Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's the same thing as Batman, right? Like, I mean,
anything.
Right.
It's pretty easy.
Right.
Just slap a spider on it and call it Spider-Person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the female Spider, like a lot, not all, but a lot of them are fucking cool.
Yeah, like the Cindy Moon,
Silk.
the other one. Yeah, Silk.
Yeah,
she's popular.
All right. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see. I would love to see more Elektra. I would love to see some of those characters brought into it. But I mean, like as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now, it's Gamora, Nebula, Black Widow, Miss Marvel. Right.
Mm-hmm. That's
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
Duh. I'm so dumb.
That's your favorite, Dante?
But I mean X-Men.
No, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
In the MCU, the movie universe. Yeah, that's basically it.
It's so. I don't know if where this comes in though, but I've heard a lot of people talk about Storm, but I think this is more so off the '90s cartoon because a lot of people are clamoring about Storm and Rogue.
So I think that. I think that the X-Men are super popular characters. A lot of people really want them to a lot of people really want them to succeed. I think that because of the recent emergence of success surrounding Black Panther, that Storm has become even more important.
Yeah.
Where she wasn't mentioned in the same kind of echelon, but now she's like in the fucking stratosphere.
Well, even when Fox was doing the X-Men movies, there was a lot of clamor from, people who I didn't know to be comic book fans, talking about Storm, not having enough shine and not having a bigger spotlight.
I agree.
But that's the only one. And then, there are a couple people that was aware that Rogue,
That was Rogue Blee. Juba Rogue.
But, those two characters specifically, I know, got a lot of talk when those X-Men movies came out because they remembered them from the cartoon and realized, wait a minute, these characters are strong characters and like have good stories.
Rogue is one of those like kick-ass female characters. Like she doesn't take any shit.
She takes no shit.
Like she's not putting up with any fucking mouth. Like she's gonna fuck you up. And she's like, she's awesome. But they just have never, like, aside from the cartoons. Like, the movies have never done her any justice.
No.
She's always, like, the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
And that's not her. She's the exact opposite.
Not that at all.
Yeah. And then, like, I mean, Jean and Storm and, like, there's so...
Psylocke.
So, actually, I had someone...
Psylocke, I think, is built more around the sexiness, but super popular. Yeah.
Someone did on Instagram, one of those asked me a question. I think someone that was like, what would be your ideal superpower? And this person who I talk to quite often, they're not into comics. They put a picture up of Jean Grey. And I messaged her. It was like, the fuck you know about Jean Grey?
Right.
And, she didn't rattle off, like, the whole history. But it was like, oh, like, okay. Just a little shocked.
Yeah.
It was like, maybe it's you like telekinesis because you're lazy like me. I don't know.
I would say that Jean, Rogue, and Storm are the three big ones from the X world, female character-wise.
Easily. Like the next one would be Psylocke, and that's again just based off of purple hair and like, oh, look at her outfit. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the outfit, and then Jubilee.
Yeah, Jubilee falls in there after that.
Once again, because the cartoon, because of the, you know what I mean, like, and her, like, that dynamic always works, right? Like when you have like the big, rough, brawny character that has to take care of the smaller, weaker character, and he doesn't care about anything in this world, but he's got a soft spot for his little sister. Chihuahua. Type. Yeah, it always works. But they did it with Rogue, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's where their strength is with female characters. But
maybe upcoming, they'll understand that though too, because like in the comics, that's what they again were pushing towards. Is like let's like get more of these female characters front and center, and as you see with Thor: Love and Thunder, they're going to introduce Jane Foster Thor, and they have the She-Hulk series, and I don't know if they're doing anything with the female spider characters in the Spider-Man movies.
It's funny thinking about Spider-Gwen. I think there's an argument that you could make that Spider-Gwen is more popular than any female character in the MCU.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably. Yeah.
I would say that.
She's super popular in the books, man.
Sophie was
if
her
you
for
put her on
Halloween,
any
and
cover,
I
it's
was
Yeah.
like, where did you
People
see
love her.
Spider-Gwen at? She was like, just flipping
she's got
through TV, and it's like,
Like that. So that to me, that's the proof of the pudding. Like you've been working on a comic book franchise that's great in the movies, cinematically for 10 plus years. And you got this character in the books that's more popular than any female character that you've addressed.
To be fair, she was in the animated Spider-Man film, which was very popular. What's that?
Yeah, but I would have
I
said this
think
even
before
before
that,
then.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, they put her in that film
Because
of the
she was so
popularity.
popular,
Yeah.
not vice versa. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
And it's even funny that
Supergirl,
Sony,
another female.
Yeah.
Like
it's funny that Sony then finds some way to try to capitalize on that at some point. I mean, Fox fucks everything up, but at least Sony tries a little bit. So
yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't try to make it happen in the movies.
yeah, and Sony, I think like what's interesting is that like Sony likes money. Like you can tell they like really like money. I like Fox like
They're making a Morbius movie.
yeah, exactly. Like
Ridiculous.
Fox wants to like have some sort of legacy to like what I mean that
Yeah.
mattered to them. Where Sony's just like cut the check.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's why they worked it out with Marvel, man.
yeah,
Sony's like, how much you want to pay? All right, cool, we can do it.
and
Fox
continue to
didn't
get
care.
greater splits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad they can't work that with Universal for the Hulk.
Yeah,
It's weird.
Dude, I love that character, and they shit on it. And every fucking film he's in, and he's just the butt of every joke. It's like, man, that's such a great serious character if you would allow that.
Yeah, and I think there's great like
He's one of the best psychological characters Marvel has.
World
And,
War Hulk?
well, it's Planet Hulk goes into World War Hulk.
Yeah, both of those are
Yeah.
great. But they won't do Planet Hulk because they've kind of already done it.
They did the animated
Right.
version.
No.
And they
Ragnarok.
did the Ragnarok,
Yeah.
which was
right.
Crap
It was a
fest.
bastardized version of it. Yeah,
very
but,
bastardized.
yeah, but like they won't do that again because it's just too close.
Uh-huh.
But World War Hulk because that's when they shot him out. They shot him out because they couldn't control him. The Illuminati shot him out.
So he ends up on Planet Hulk. That's a whole series to take him out of Civil War because he's too powerful to be in Civil War.
Yeah, and
so
then
after that,
and then he comes back.
a
and he's
bomb goes
pissed.
off, kills his new family, and he figures out that the bomb was planted by Richards and Company, the Illuminati, and he blames them. So he takes his new friends from Planet Hulk and brings the war back to Earth and imprisons everybody and takes over New York.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
It was a great story.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have.
And they even took one of my favorite stories from when I was a kid in the 90s, the merging of the Hulk personalities and the whole big thing behind Bruce's DID, and they skipped over an Endgame just to create Professor Hulk.
Yeah,
And it was terrible.
Still a joke.
It was still a joke, and there was no
Definitely
gravity
still a
to the
joke.
character at all because you didn't know the story.
yeah. He is the rake that you step on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, two of their stronger characters, Thor and Hulk, are basically their comic relief.
Yeah. And now She-Hulk is coming, and instead of
that way.
No.
Like it's just Ragnarok. That like
So
and what's
even-
funny is that dude that did Ragnarok,
Taika Waititi, yeah.
he did, in my opinion, the two most serious episodes of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, he did like the end too, right?
Well, even in the first
So
Thor, he was
crazy.
still kind of childlike and
Yeah,
silly.
because-
The second one, it
Second-
went,
the
The
second
second one
straight
is
serious.
hated by all the normies. Like I
Yeah.
like the second Thor
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's
me
the most
too.
serious. It shows the brotherhood between him and Loki, and it's the closest
And
to
actually,
the books.
the second
I was
one's
like,
a little dark.
Yeah.
I would
Oh,
put that. In
that might be the
that-
darkest
that
film
is the
Marvel's
darkest,
done.
I think.
Yeah, I would put that in the same
And
pocket.
it kind of kicks.
Oh, it's a dark
everything-
world.
It's the Dark Elves. It's the Dark Elves. Dark elves to the
I mean,
Dark
and
World.
it kind of kicks everything off though, because you get introduced to the ether, and then you
Yeah,
start
that's
to
what
get the ideal.
christens
now
them
of
the
what's
Infinity
happening.
Stones. You know that's what they're gunning for by the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that movie.
People
People
hate it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the most hated movie, and I think Iron Man 3 is by
It's
far the worst
awful.
film. Iron Man 3 is garbage.
And you know what's funny is that like what made perfect sense to me was somebody really liked Iron Man 3 and wouldn't tell me wouldn't give me any good argument why. And he was like, but look, I really like this other movie that you should watch. So Laura and I watched it.
No, what was it?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, okay.
And it's fucking awful. So I called him and I was like, "This is fucking awful." And he's like, "Oh, it's the same guy that did Iron Man 3. I was
Yeah.
hoping that you would appreciate him." I was like,
I like the
just-
acting
I
in-
just hate this dude.
Oh, you hate Shane Black.
I guess.
He does good. He does well with his buddy cop stuff. But every time
What else has he done?
He did the remake with Russell Crowe, and it's a remake of a '70s TV show, and that was actually decent. It's a good buddy cop movie, but it wouldn't be your. I forget what the name of it was though. It had Russell Crowe and who's the guy from La La Land, the good-looking guy that all the ladies like. What's his name?
He threw that last part in.
Who was in Blade Runner 2049? The new Blade Runner.
You know that sexy guy that
what's
women call sexy.
Fucking guy, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. Yeah,
So he did the Predator.
yeah. Which the new Predator was god awful. Yeah, you didn't see that with us.
No, he did the Nice Guys.
The Nice Guys. That's what that is.
He did
Nice Guys was a '70s show. They remade it into a movie.
He did the original Predator.
No, he was in the original Predator.
Oh,
He's
okay.
Hawkins, the one guy with the glasses.
Okay,
So he started out as an actor in the '80s, and now he's become a director.
gotcha. So he was also an actor in Lethal Weapon
Yeah.
2.
Yep. He was
Lethal
a,
Weapon 2 is pretty good.
he was a small actor back in the '80s.
Just like when you're a shitty basketball player, but you become a great coach.
No, this is the opposite of this because he was an okay actor and becomes a shitty.
No, yeah, he's a pretty
But
shitty
anyway,
director too. He
So
can fuck
the
off.
Nice Guys isn't enjoyable, but you kind of have to enjoy action movies too, which you don't really like. So
And, who is he in As Good as It Gets?
I don't know.
Let me see him.
I'm trying to.
But you recognize Predator is his most famous role, the original.
Yeah. Hold on.
You'd recognize him in that.
This guy? This fella? Yeah, it's not.
He had glasses in Predator in the original.
What's his name?
Shane
Black.
Black.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think it was a good movie. I just
Black-
don't care.
Black Widow.
Yeah, I just don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah, just
don't
piss
care.
poor
It
timing
wasn't-
is what doomed it.
It wasn't good enough to make me care. That's its biggest downfall. It's like it's elevator music. It's like, did you hear something in the elevator when we got? Oh, it was like a little tune going on. I didn't hate it. Do you remember how it went? No.
It's funny, the entire time watching it, one of the things I heard months ago when Wonder Woman 84 came out and it was getting panned by people. And I sometimes like to read comments just for fun. I like to get angry and then like
I do too.
like just for fun. I'm like, let's get pissed today and read some comments. And someone commented, they're like, look, everyone's hating this movie because it's a female-led movie, and you know that whole argument. Female-led
which I
movies
don't think
do
is
well.
true.
No, not at all. Like, it's fucking dumb. Especially what's that chick Elizabeth Banks tried to say that about the new Charlie's Angels. Like, it's like, listen up, hooker. You in the Hunger Games, and that movie fucking did great. I watched that last night.
And that was a female-led movie as well.
For whatever reason, I was watching it, but
That ending sucked ass.
Oh, Hungry.
That's the worst ending in cinematic history.
I just started them with the girls. We watched the first.
Have
one.
you seen it?
Yeah, it's been a bit, but
It's like watching
Don't retell me because I'm gonna.
All right, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it's like watching Star Wars, and you watch it all the way up to Jabba's palace, and then all of the characters throw like a black towel over the camera, and then pull the black towel off the camera at indoor during the celebration with the fireworks, and they're like, it all worked out. It's insane.
yeah,
They
I'm
don't
guessing.
show the end conflict.
Yeah, I'm guessing they
They just tell you it worked out.
Yeah,
It's
just
fucking insane.
take her word for it. It's okay.
It's like
it works.
hey, they had to cut the book down, Bobby.
I don't know. I think in the book they handled it the same way.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
but
I didn't.
That's not good writing.
no, the lead
I
character.
couldn't make it through the third book.
So I
don't know
the
why.
lead character gets knocked
Maybe that's
out.
why.
at the beginning of the war, like the final battle, and then she comes out of unconscious state after the battle is over,
It was all a dream.
and you follow her, not the
Yeah.
battle.
So you
Wow,
follow her nap.
that's a lack of writing ability.
But
It's really bad.
but basically, this person commented, when Black Widow comes out, it's going to get panned as well because it's a female-led movie. And da 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 da. And I was hoping that, and again, I like the movie. I think it's great, but I think people are going to shit on it. But I don't think it's
really?
because it's a female-led movie. I think it's just people don't care.
I don't think people will shit on this.
Do you think people are going to see it though?
Yeah, I know
I
people who
think-
have already seen it. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's
When I say people, it's obviously I'm going to go post on the Facebook tonight and see just the collage of people shitting on it, which is why I've been posting and ghosting. I haven't even been like, I get a notification, comments. Good. I got other shit to do. I don't feel like reading the
Yeah.
negativity. Not yet. I'm going to go read it next week when I want to get mad.
right.
And then start
Yeah,
telling them
I
I know
don't
your
think-
address, bitch.
I don't think people are gonna hate this. I think, like, I don't know what Marvel movie people have hated.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, that's the big one overall. Everyone
I would
disliked.
agree. And I like that movie better than I like Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
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 But I don't feel like the hate is there for Iron Man 3 in the same
not
way.
I think people were confused though back when Iron Man 3 came out because they're just like, oh, Iron Man was good and we like the Avengers. Let's keep liking these things, not understand. And
Let's
they
keep
also,
liking these things.
and I think they also didn't understand though too what was going on because there wasn't a clear direction.
I
So,
want someone to take the footage of Robert Downey Jr. when he like breaks out of the prison in Iron Man 3 and is like creeping around the castle. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the
like
MacGyver moment
like with
where-
his gun, and he's like crawling. And I want somebody to interject the music. Boom, 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 boom.
That's because Shane Black likes his cop movies.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Fucking Beverly Hills Cop at the end when like
When
he's
he
going
makes-
around Victor's what was it, Victor Mason, was that his name? Whatever his name, the dude, the bad guy from Beverly Hills Cop 1.
Oh,
It's Victor.
Victor, God damn, whatever his name is, Victor's house.
okay.
but I think I don't know. I'm just basing it off as just hearing-
Maitland, Victor Maitland. Sorry.
just based off, whenever I would post anything about Black Widow previously, all I see is no one cares. No one cares. It's been a year. No one cares. No one cares. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. Hopefully when people see it, they'll enjoy it. But
Yeah, it's funny because I talked to somebody today and they were like like the guy that was telling me about this thing that's on Amazon, and Nick, and he was like, yeah, this thing on Amazon. I was like, yeah, we're getting ready to watch Black Widow, and I was expecting the response to be like, oh, sweet, man. And it was like, who cares? And I was like, huh, that's interesting. It's an just because of the Marvel wave of just the like the Midas touch. Like it's an interesting response to see.
I mean, I would watch this, again over Tomorrow War. Like that's the thing on Prime.
That's yeah.
I mean, that wasn't terrible. It's just time travel shit. I'm really picky about it because I fucking love time travel movies, and that
Oh my
shit,
god.
Yeah,
it didn't
Tenet
make sense at all.
Tenet broke me.
Tenet. Did you watch that?
I mean, it was on in my presence.
Yeah.
I don't know if I watched it, but it was doing stuff, and I
Have
was
you
like,
watched Tenet on Wii?
no. But you know what? I got to make some phone calls now. Says I'm coming to base. Like, what are you doing? Why does it smell funny down here? Watching Tenet, baby.
Oh, come on.
Have an edible.
Trying to make some sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have the edibles. You're not smoking anything.
You got to enhance it. Super enhanced. Smoke and eat, and then watch and piss yourself. It's fun. Don't knock it till you try it. I mean, peeing yourself.
Yeah.
Dude, it's convenient.
Or skip it just to go to the bathroom.
I woke up this morning at 5 and I was like, do I go or do I just sit here in pain?
Dude, guys, like,
It hurt.
are you a bottle next to the bed guy?
Huh? What? Oh, no.
Yeah, I
not at all.
can't handle that shit.
Sarah would not be having that.
There's a lot of people that do it. Like,
Really?
yeah, because I'll be honest with you, I could never do
I
it.
won't tolerate it.
Well, first of all, I'm the man of the house. Secondly,
You can do it sleeping down here in your basement. You can have as many piss bottles as you want in my bedroom. You
secondly, I couldn't do it. Because I don't like any biological things. Like I don't like Like I wouldn't be able to handle it. But
You would not be able to handle my job.
Just toenails. He loves those biological.
Hey, if they're coming from toe jangles over here, I'm sure.
What did they say? What did they say? Yes, last night they said something funny like.
Oh, they give you a new name? Did Laura get a new name?
No,
it's the same
they said
shit.
something like
Jangles.
they smacked it. They smacked the ring off her toes or something. Like I was something. It was funny as shit.
Dude, I can't wait till that Dummies comes out. I gotta hear that shit.
There was someone that we know. I won't obviously add any names, but they were canned by the bad person.
I mean, I remember Mario used to
Woke up
Like
in
to
the
take
middle
a
of the
number
night.
2?
And drank out of it.
Yes.
Oh my god!
And when he told that story, God damn it, it was so
I do
fucking
remember.
good. So,
Was that Brutus?
No. But someone within that circle.
Within that circle?
It's when he told that story, it's like, first off, why would you tell me that?
Yeah, I do.
now
Vaguely
I'm
Something
gonna
that's
laugh
something
all
you
the
should take
time.
to your grave,
Mario
man.
kept the bottle by his bed. Like he was a bottle by the bed. Like, and he would get rid of it. Like he wouldn't like keep it around. Tug used to do it. Like I get it. I get it in the sense of like
Get it?
when I have to wake up and take a piss, and I get up to take a piss, and then like I'm not getting back to sleep. I'm done. It's over. It's
I mean,
fucking, you know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
thinking like well, Mario being all the way in the basement type shit is like,
he had to go all the way
I
upstairs.
guess
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
that. Me, I just walk out my door and hey, there's a fucking bathroom right here. Let me go piss in this toilet.
Same, but I'll tell you that's it. That's it. Night's ruined for me. I'm not going back to sleep.
If I turn on the light, which I tend to because I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm fucking afraid of the dark. Dude,
But you like horror movies.
Yeah, well, that's part of the fucking problem. I watch horror movies before bed.
Yeah, dude.
And now, look, don't tell anybody, but I'm telling everybody here. I've been fucking playing with TikTok and listening to these fucking true crime fucking TikTok things. And now they're fucking with me. Talk about, someone like just walked into the house through an unlocked door. So every time Sarah leaves now, I go downstairs and make sure the door is locked. I check the back. I'm like, and then I've been like, we got new neighbors. And these motherfuckers, between 9 and midnight, just constantly like knocking shit around, opening cabinets and slamming things. And I want to go get a fucking midnight snack, but I can't because I'm scared. And fucking TikTok is doing this to me. But I get up.
You got to stay away from TikTok, dude.
But they're so
It's
good.
for the younger crowd.
Not those true crime stories. Those shits are for the Dante crowd.
Dumbass dances.
Yeah, those shits are dumb. But
They're
but
so bad. A lot of them dances. I'm like,
it's like like the lip syncing too. It's like what? Like why? Like just shut up. But like I'll turn on the light, go to the bathroom, and once the light comes on, I'm definitely not going back to sleep because everything's been reset and it's time to party. It's 3 a.m. It's like, look, man, let's go ahead and play some video games.
yeah.
Maybe watch another horror
True
movie.
crime, yeah. There you go.
I mean, I watched the Hunger Games and then I went to pee, woke up, and I was like, well, fuck it, let's watch fucking WWE fucking Money in the Bank.
Shorty, what you drink?
I mean,
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming out. 7.5. We all thought it was good.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all just don't care.
I do. I care.
Except Laura. Laura
I
loves
do
it.
care.
Laura's the biggest fan.
I'll watch it again at some point.
definitely going to watch it again. Like, I mean, that Sarah wants to watch it, so I'll, we'll watch it and then.
I'm going to watch the rest of it tonight, I think. Maybe. We'll see. It depends. I might have some shit to do. Check my eBay listings. I feel like I get enough of it. Like I mean, I don't. So I'll tell you, I don't feel like I'm missing.
Well, you gotta
like,
you gotta see the
you gotta
Taskmaster
watch.
reveal.
Yeah, you gotta
because
watch
you
it.
had
I'm
no
gonna
clue what I was
watch it.
talking
I'm
about.
gonna watch it, but at the same time, like
You
I
can't
don't.
watch it on your shoulder while you're doing a diorama.
I don't feel. Oh, my show is funny because
I know he places his phone up
Yeah.
there, dude. I don't know how your neck's not like.
Because I don't use my neck. It's like it hangs off. Like I use the
It's
tension of my shirt.
Craziest shit ever.
No, they have like
You're lucky your wife is a
You know
physical
what's like the
therapist. That's all
laziest
I
shit
gotta
ever?
say.
Is
Yeah,
like
nothing
that,
my body. This is
the
not
neck
affected.
thing,
It's like my
you put your
shirt.
phone on
Stretching
it?
my shirt out a little bit.
They make something?
So one of my coworkers was talking about this shit the other day, and it changed my life. I haven't gotten it yet, but it's like this. You
Like a
drape it over your
hoodie
neck,
sort
and you
of
put
thing.
your phone there, and it's right in front of your face. And I was like, dude, that's
I
perfect.
don't want that.
It's perfect for porn because
because you can use both hands. I get it. All right. So hope you enjoyed that. Shout out to everybody we normally shout out. There's time restrictions today. Long story. We'll talk about it next week. And with that,
Flappy Libius.
Tasty tank.
tight dick player.